Talk Show. Recorded live.
A lot of shit is going if he beat his balls and turned them into squash. Y'all heard first, see the gun burst. A black suit and a black hearse. These pack of rappers is a pack of booty starburst. These niggas pay to keep their money in their man purse. All fucking going down. Like Puffy at the awards is going down. I'm the king with the crown. And the nigga burning Babylon down. A lot of shit is going down. A lot of shit is going down. A lot of shit that make me frown. If you don't see then look around. The funny shit is going down. It's a real funky shit going down. The apocalypse is now. I might have to go the whole 12 rounds.
Get your ass out of the street protesting.
The devil doesn't give a fuck.
And we don't give a fuck about a devil. ORS, you are now listening to
Yeah, I don't like you devils. Y'all be doing that evil shit. I don't like these wines. Nope. Melanated is the only thing that I like. Filthy parasite. Out for your life and they murder every night. I don't like these wine, no I don't, niggas. I do not serve these crackers, so I said what I like. Niggas know I'm right. Power to the people, brother, so you do the work. Did you see Bird? What the fuck did you see was gonna happen to that funky ass crap? Get your ass on the street and put your hands down, nigga, protesting the same damn chapter. Once again, you ain't shit in the eyes of the mother that low down, dirty ass crap. But you forget about the shit in just a little bit, so back to serving your master. Gotta get that guap. Nigga gotta get that guap. Boy, pop. Another nigga just got shot. Boy, dirty cop, put some lead inside a little boy. Talking all that shit. Fuck these crackers, wear them hot boys. I don't like these wines. Nope. Melanated is the only thing that I like. Filthy parasite. Dirty devil. Out for your life and they murder every night. I don't like these wines. Nope. I do not serve these crackers, so I said what I like. Niggas know I'm right. Niggas. Power to the people, but the fuck you do the white. Predatory. They crawl their ass about the cave. Anti-life. They've been devilish since they first was made. Cannibals in fact. Drinking blood like Kool-Aid. I ain't lying. These devils climbed up out the grave. Don't be falling for the shit that they put on TV just to create distraction, dog. A lot of shit that they see is off stage and it ain't really nothing that's popping off. You be surprised at a lot, but I know one thing that I don't need to figure out. That's the fact that they hate a fucking cousin. If they could, they would take us all out. But like a true vampire, they need to survive because you got that melanin so low. Hit up all our shit, put whitey in the mix, and you be like, where did all the niggas go? Everywhere they went, always want to run shit, ain't got respect for shit. Genocide, take a lot, eugenics, all
last name would maybe do it. I think I'm probably have a business name. I was amazed by the number of us that stood up to their flag. And we all know that that flag has never represented us or our freedom. So at this time, like the cracker would ask you to do, I'm going to ask you all to take Black Tower fist in the air. If any of you want the lyrics to this song or want the song, I do have a CD back there. If you want the song in particular, I will give it to you. As the brother said, this is something that we should have at our event. So open up each event. Black Tower event?
Black Tower.
Black Power, B48, my hotel. Walking the Field on the Ground Radio. This your brother Born. We coming in live. Thinktank Thursday. This Thinktank Thursday, we're going to be dealing with, a little bit of the court system. You know what I'm saying? Black men and his rights in the court system dealing with his children. You know, I got a young brother that I know from the hood who want to come in. He want to tell his story. You know, and let everybody, just so they can see some of the outrageous laws that they have enacted against men. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about the black man, you know what I mean? But we got some outrageous things going on. Let me say this is the wrong pen. Wait a minute, man. Been in the pen wrong? Let me see. He might not. All right, brother having a little difficulty coming in, but we're getting right on in here. But like I said, we're going to be dealing with some of the outlandish and outrageous laws that they got on the books. You know, and particularly we're going to be dealing with here in Connecticut because the brother's from here. But I know that this is something that is touching black men all over the nation, dealing with, outrageous child support and then outrageous court orders or legal guidelines that states have already set up where it just keeps a black man from being a father, even, I don't even want to get into it all the way. I want the young brother to come in and he'll come in and definitely make it round it on up for us so we can really get a grasp of some of the different things going on, be able to ask him some questions As you get in there, Black Power, what's going on, Brother Rahe Boo? How you tonight? Brother out there, you must be so flying high. Brother Dondre, Black Power. What's going
Black
on?
Power family.
How you tonight?
I'm doing all right, hanging in there. How are you?
Man, you know, saying every day up better than down.
Yeah, that.
Well, I'm doing all right today, man. You know what I mean? It was nice out here. You know, shit. As long as the weather good, man, I'm good up this street. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, we got a little topic going on, man. You ever had any problems with the court system?
Nah, not really. I've been lucky enough to avoid that shit. Only little misdemeanor bullshit.
Yeah. Now, I'm saying in regards to children, anything.
Nah, like I said, I've been able to avoid that shit. I haven't been caught up with no child support or no shit like that. I've been able to avoid all that shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing. Shit, I escaped it my own self. So when the young brother was telling me some of the things I had, or at one point in time, right, I was here in Connecticut and I had sent my daughter to live with my mother and father, right, in Georgia. So she down there, and so after a while, the school was wanting some paperwork stating that it was okay for my mother and father to have custody of my daughter, right? So I'm like, you know, that right there already threw me off because I'm like, yo, what the fuck do you? If she there and everything cool, what's the problem? Nobody filed her missing child report, no shit like that. What's the problem? They're like, well, we need to know that she here. So all right, boom. I sent them a letter. You know what I'm saying? You know, I give permission for my daughter to be there. You know what I'm saying, with her, you know, her paternal grandparents. Boom, boom, boom. All right. They hit me back like, nah. Oh, man, hold on one second. This family, hold on one second. Hold on. All right, good. Black Power family. Brother having a little trouble getting in, so what we're going to do is I'm going to patch him right here, and we'll just rock off right here like this, and, you know, and get it moving. But, yeah, man, if you, you know, the brother, like I said, he was having a little trouble, but I'm going to go ahead and clear this up real quick. Like I was saying, the school system was stating, no, that's not good enough. We need to have something. Okay. All right, so now the court's thinking to me, well, the school is thinking to me, they like, yo, listen, no, we need something from the mother saying that, you know, in the court saying that you got custody. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, all right, you know, so all right, I go down to the little family court thing. I'm thinking it's going to be an easy procedure because the mother not contesting nothing. We don't have no stipulations any other time, and she always been with me and her mother together at the same time. It's not like, you know, I've never been out of her life or nothing like that. So I'm like, all right, clear. We're not gonna have no problem. I go down there. They like, yo, listen, no, you got to take her to court for custody. I'm like, take her to court for what? She's not contesting nothing. There's no problem. She all right. I'm like, yo, I'm just here because the state down there is saying they need something from y'all to be like, everything is all right. They were like, no, you got to, I'm going to have to go to the judge, get something to subpoena her, get a warrant for her, so she has to come to court in order for her to be the plaintiff, or me to be the plaintiff, her to be the defendant, and me to get custody from my daughter. I was like, yo, nigga, this is some bullshit. So, I didn't go no further with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm not with no shit like that. Because I tried it, and this shit just didn't seem like it was going to be a good thing. Because when I went to the court, them niggas was like, it's going to be 3 months, at least 90 days before we be able to do something with this, whatever, and get you a date. From that point, I went home, drafted my own motherfucking letter, and sent it down there and said, here I go. And they took that letter. So, and I just bypassed by there. And so I'm telling y'all that because when the brother was telling me his story, it sounded similar to mine where he went through the process that I didn't go through. And so, I'm going to bring the brother on. It's my peoples right here. My brother J.I., welcome to Feet on the Ground Radio.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, big bro?
I'm doing well. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that the people in the audience can hear you. So go ahead and just say your name and everything, and then I'll ask them if they can hear you clear.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, J.I. Watson, representing F.N. Rich. It's not about the goal, it's about the destination, and I'm here showing love to my big brother. Salute for having me on.
All right. Now, can y'all hear him clear?
Yeah, he's good.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Well, like I said, like I was saying earlier, the show is about the black man and his rights. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do, for the family out there, I'm going to let y'all lines back in, but I'm going to mute the line so when people come in, they just don't, nobody cut in. I'll open y'all right back up.
Okay.
Oh, no, you good, though, family. So,
Okay.
So like I was saying, though, the show tonight is basically about the rights that men have, in dealing with custody with their child or with children, in particular the black man and some of the struggles that you'll go through dealing with the state, in particular here in the state of Connecticut, but also these things touch home to family all over. So, right now I'm going to let my brother just tell as much of his story as he wants to on the things that, transpired and, the little court journey that he's going through.
Okay, just to speak briefly a little bit about, kind of what your story and your testimony on what you was already talking about. But number one, I'm only going to speak about the things that I've actually experienced. I'm not a doctor, not a lawyer, so everything is not factual as far as me going in the books, but by the experience. So to me, that's even, that's more factual. I've actually had to go down there and live it and go through this. But for number one, in the state of Connecticut, whenever there's a situation where a child's mother, for whatever reason, being spiteful, whatever the leverage is, to not let their child and the father in the child's life, one of the first statements that's always brought up is take it to court, go get custody, as if it's just a light switch. And I don't think that people really take a chance and really understand what it takes to get there, what's required of you, and just the emotional toll it takes on the father, for one. In the state of Connecticut, as a father, you could be there, make love, do whatever you want, live with the child, both you guys together, your common law, husband and wife, everything. But technically, the state still does not recognize the father as being an equal guardian unless you, it's going to sound crazy, but unless you are registered and you take a class and you're certified as a parent in the state of Connecticut. And again, that sounds crazy, but I did, go down there and try to get custody of the child. And the first thing, like you said, exactly what you said, the first thing they want to say is, like, you got to have her contest, if someone's contesting it, like, you got to go take her for custody. So you got to go ahead and pay for the sheriff to go ahead and get her served and all that. So off the jump, they're already breaking the family down. The first thing they're doing is turning you against her. I mean, why do I got to pay to send her papers? I mean, it could be her day off or whatever. That's surely going to start a family argument in the black family. I get papers served at my door asking about my child and everything else. Like you said, nobody's contesting it. Why should I even go to that? But you go to that whole situation, you got to have your money right to go ahead and pay for her to be served. You got to take a parenting class. They give you a whole pamphlet. Tell you got to take a parenting class. They let you know when the classes are available. So again, they can tell you it could be from 3 to 6 months. You got to continue that. Go see in front of the judge. Let him see that. Wait for that court date. It's all this back and forth. And what nobody realizes, I don't think anybody ever paid attention to, is the father and their emotions. This whole time, I'm being treated like a criminal, and all I'm trying to do is see my child. You would think that if a father walked into a building and said anything close to I want to see my child, it'll be doves flying and it'd be gold glitter flying off the ceiling, but you got people looking at you like the first thing you want to do is they want you to put on your battle gear and say, okay, so you want to be the father? Okay, now you got to battle the mother. You got to pay to serve these papers and prove that you want to be a father, and that's ridiculous. But you know what I mean, we got to go through it every day, and it's really ridiculous. It's not as easy as people think it is to go for custody, and if anybody who's listening can say that it is easier, I think instead of trying to prove it wrong or it turn to a battle, why don't you get on the phone and reach out and let some of our young men out here know, what the process is and make it easy to go ahead and be in our child's life, because there's a lot of fathers out here that really want to be in their child's life and they're being denied that. And the sad thing is it's not because of the court. It's really because of the woman at home who's telling you, first off, for whatever reason, can't be in your child's life. And that's something I'm going through right now, and I just felt like it was right to just go on and speak in and give a word or testimony myself of what I've been going through and give a little word of advice or answer any questions, comments, complaints.
Right, well, listen, family. Let's see where we want to start at, man. What were some of the all right. Once you started this type of action, what were some of the things that you end up, having to battle with dealing with the mother of the child? Was it, besides, having to go through the court, what were some of the things the court system had you go through in particular? You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that have transpired with, just the different type of breakdowns of the family that just kept surmounting, over days.
Well, starting off, like I said, when you first even start the process, they tell you have to pay, to get the child's mother served, to get a marshal to go ahead and serve the paperwork and everything. If I'm not mistaken, the charge is $75. Now, again, if you ask the question right now, what is child support? Or if you just say the word child support, someone was to give you the definition, the first thing that comes up is money, court, all this back and forth. The term of child support never even comes up with the fact that the father helped potty train, father wakes up every Saturday and watch cartoons, his father brings him, the father teaches him how to say the ABCs, but that's support of a child. That doesn't even come up. So what you got to understand, so you're dealing with the courts and everything that you do, that's why they say everything you say or do will and can be used against you in the court of law. That's all around. People think that just happens when you shoot somebody. It happens all around. So number one, you walk into this courtroom and they tell you, you think you're just going to go, hey, I want my kid. And they go, oh, God bless you. You the man. Go ahead. We're just going to sign that paper for you. But they go, no. Okay, well, prove it. So they ask you to pay this, I think it's a $75 fee. The first thing is, if you say you can't pay it, you can, you sign to try to get a waiver and see if they can pay it for you. 9 out of 10, the first thing that they look at is that if you're walking up and you can pay $75 to go and pay for this and you look for a waiver, that's already voted against you. That could even come up again in the court case. We're like, okay, if the child's mother wants to say anything about making a money issue and this and that. So again, you got your back against the wall from the very start. You have to, from the very beginning, you're ripped apart and scrutinized, and you have to prove yourself from the very jump. But I didn't know my story. You already judging off of that. And you know what I mean? So that's one thing. And you got to understand, the court is the court. These are other people. You made your child. When you want your child, you want your child there. You love your child. You want to be with them. They don't care. They got vacation. If they tell you your case will continue for another month or two, that's another month or two you got to wait. They don't care about your case. You know what I mean? At all. So, and during this whole time, you trying to still be in the child's life, popping up at the schools and everything. That sounds good. I mean, a lot of men was like, ain't no woman gonna hold me against my kid. Nobody gonna stop me. I'll pop up at the school, and that's all good, and that's the pride and the spirit of a father. But the unfortunate reality is, you could pop up at that school and actually be charged with endangerment to the whole school, for popping up on the property, and you around all these other kids. The mother called and said she's endangered. Or anything. There's real consequences to you doing these type of things. And again, it just turns into a whole whirlwind of emotion, and you still got to wait on what the court says you got to do. And I think the hardest thing in the world is actually having it being on record, and a judge slamming the gavel down and saying on record, as of this date, as of this time, from his evaluation of seeing you in the court for 15 minutes, letting her say her case, you say your case, I decided that maybe you shouldn't see your child for 6 to 8 months. We're going to reevaluate this case and see how I feel about it. They're human just like you. You know what I mean? But what makes it even worse is you didn't make my child. And I think it's very sad, and I think what people don't realize is you got these doctors and lawyers and judges who sit there and tell us how we supposed to support our children. And, we're not fathers, or we're not in their life, and we don't have a certain amount of money to show, quote-unquote, child support. But you guys are making all this money, and you spend all day in the offices and in courts and on the bench talking about my life, while your kid is at home doing whatever. Because you can't be in the court all day telling me how I got to be for mine and be at yours all day. And I'm trying to tell you that I can't be in court all day listening to you when I could be at home with my kid. So it's a lot to do with.
It seems like a big catch-22. Like you said, you're in a situation where you're saying that you go to court, and when there's a continuance, you told, all right, you already haven't been seeing the child. You know what I'm saying? You're already into a situation with the mother where you're not already seeing the child.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try to find a situation in order to be able to see the child. Then the mother throws charges on you, and then you got to go through charges or whatever, whatever she's charged you with. Now you got to have Child Protective Service agencies come after you. What's going on?
Because another thing, I think what people don't realize with the law is they feel like because it's a lie, they can get caught. For one, when someone makes a report about you and says anything, and it's as stupid and as crazy as it may sound, they can say absolutely anything, especially if they have a name and an identity. Then they're going to go right to you. I can call right now and say, the brother just did this. At the end of the day, a police officer's job is to take the report and apprehend you and take you in. And when you get a chance to say what's true or what's not true and pull up your proof and pull out your phone and show you that last text and all that, is in front of a judge. By that time, you already done missed work. You already been charged. It's already been on the book. So it don't matter. You know what I mean? So you're still dealing with that. There are some women, and it's not all at all. I love my women, but that's just like everybody. I mean, everybody's not the same. There are some that are very spiteful, and they have no reason why they're doing it. But the more you try to get closer to your child and show them, at first it was, I didn't have a job. Now I got 2 jobs. Now you want to bring me to child support and up the rate. You know what I mean? Now I'm trying to move out. I got a new girlfriend. Whatever it is, it's just like, why are you going to be spiteful? And at the end of the day, even I feel like even now, I think the conversation we have right now is still case in point. From the time the phone call started, I wanted to see my child. We still get into this whole conversation that goes to fighting for the child of a mother-father situation. And when the court sits back and sees that, again, as a father, your case is already thrown out. They look at it like that. It's a hard balance to. Nobody wants to be the crazy. There's no for the crazy father that just jumps up and blows bombs and punches everybody in the face because they missed their father. They missed their kid. You still want a father to still, conduct yourself as a man, as a human being, and still, make rational decisions. But if anyone wants to say a female is emotional, I think this is the closest a male will get to that point. Take my child away, male or female, boy or girl, son or daughter. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. And for something that doesn't necessarily have an answer, it doesn't doesn't have any necessary leaders. There's no answers out there. And no matter how many times we have this phone call, I said this earlier when we spoke in person, I still feel like this is the silent battle that no matter what, no one talks about this. It was years ago, a real talented young man put a song on the radio about how he missed his child. And I said, the song is beautiful, but it's so sad that it's not going to stick. No one cares about the father who wants to be in his child's life. It's cool to get that, hey, keep your head up. Someone write you a post, send you the text, you're going to get it. But no one really, not to say they don't care, but we need more access to know what to do in this situation. And even as far as the women, you know what I mean? We need more female counselors out there, more old school women, you know what I mean, talking to these young women and understanding that just running to the state and throwing your baby father on child support to show spite and all that, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. To me, it's almost a form of you arresting your baby father before anything else. It just really doesn't make any sense.
Well, listen, man, I'm looking at some of the information, right? And, like you said, they got a lot of different applications and things of that nature where this law that you're talking about, that where if you are a father striving to, just have any type of custody of a child, this law is a law that not only it pertains to, they group you in with divorcees and different types of things. So, matter of fact, let me open this up real quick.
And even with that, like you said, it turned into applications and things I got to fill out. And like I said, I'm not trying to turn this into a back and forth or the equal rights thing, but it's like when my daughter's mother had her child, that was the mother. There was nobody needed to sign any papers. She didn't have to pull up any ID or anything like that. You know what I mean? My name's on the birth certificate. I cut the umbilical cord. You know what I mean? But I still got to fill out an application. Like you said, I'm still grouped in with a whole other group of people that I'm not married and divorced. You know what I mean? So why I got to stand in that line all day?
You went with the grandparents and everybody else. And the rest of them. But listen, this is what I want to ask you. How long has this process been going on with you not being able to see your child? Just the process, and then how long have you not been able to see your child dealing with this situation?
Well, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm very strong in a lot of things that I do. I mean, I started my own clothing line. I'm older to 8. List goes on and on. Be able to say what strength I do have. But one thing I could definitely say, I didn't have the strength to continue fighting in that court system. Losing battle at the time for more than one reason. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have all the money. And I just couldn't fight for my kid like a piece of property because, again, like you said, a lot of people gotta say, when you go to court, like you explained earlier, there's two sides. I gotta say my side, you gotta say your side. We're all looking for a win. Period. If you can come to a mutual agreement before you go to court, then court wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? So when you go into court, you're literally fighting, and you know what I mean. And I didn't want to do that. I feel like nobody was standing there in the room when my daughter was conceived. I shouldn't have to ask anybody for permission to see my kid. Now, what I did do is I, reached out to the mother and tried to come to a mutual agreement. That wasn't her interest. So what I did was I put all my pride to the side. I said, I'm going to give this woman whatever she wants, outside of, if you want a relationship, we have a relationship, or you want money, whatever, as far as that, saying, what is it that, the one thing I can give you right now, let me give you an open ear, let's come to an agreement. Because, again, if you do make an agreement with your child's mother or whatever, but it comes to the point of you got to sacrifice yourself as a man or your principles and everything to still be a father to your child, you still got to be a man, and you still got to lead by example. So if already shown that the mother saying, well, yeah, you can see it, but you got to come over and you got to mop the floor with a toothbrush. And then next week I want you to give me all your checks, and then I want you to run butt naked down Times Square, and then you do all that. There's a fine line between, he's willing to do anything for his kid, or I'm willing to be a fool and just live my life and do just stuff just for you and turn my life into a circus. But when my child gets older, she can't even respect the moves that I made. So, like I said, it's a lot of stuff you got to go back and forth with. So I haven't technically, on paperwork, been told I couldn't feed my child, whatever. As far as, like I said, that probably would have been a lot better than the situation I'm going through where the actual mother has made her own decision. And it's not just as easy as, okay, I said you can't see it. You can't see your child, and it's just like that. My child is older. Right now, she doesn't have her own cell phone. And in order for me to call or talk to my child, I have to call through her mother. If that message isn't passed on, if that phone call isn't passed on, there's nothing else I could do. I pop up at school. I pop up at other people's places before that starts coming off as, he did this today. You know what I mean? You start fighting these stories and these battles that you didn't even know was going on. You see somebody in the store, and they're like, when's the last time you seen your daughter? Because your daughter's mother told me that you went to the roof, and I was like, all this crazy stuff. You're like, I haven't seen them in months. I don't even know where they're at right now. I really don't even know your exact address, to be honest with you. I don't know where you at. But I think I'm very open to a point. This is the most open I've ever been, honestly, about what's going on with my daughter. But I think the last time I actually saw her, even with that was just for the sake of a picture. I saw her for like a good 20 minutes, and then she was hauled off again. Before then, I haven't seen her for months. To this day, I haven't seen her, spoken to her. I haven't talked to her on Father's Day. Her birthday's coming up, July 13th. It looks like right now. I'm probably not going to see her or be able to talk to her. I mean, I don't know. It's been months, technically. It's been centuries, emotionally, and it can never be repaired in my heart, truthfully.
Shit, man. Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. It's definitely like some of the things that you was telling me. Right now I know you telling me again for the second time, so it's a little bit, it's a little less information because you've already, basically filled me in. So I'm gonna just hit a couple things, and if you want to answer, it's just a no. Now you said that how was it that you said that a woman could just accuse you of anything? So is this something that I'm saying, like, what went on in your situation where this was going on, so we can get a clear understanding of how easily something could be said without any evidence.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
For instance, I was actually I was like gonna do my research and find out how to do the process. Now, if anyone doesn't know that, court cases, unless they are actually private, they're pretty open. You can go and sit in the courtroom and check out cases or whatever. So I actually sat in one of the courtrooms or film court, whatever, and I saw a guy in there, full-blown career, the more money you could think of, had houses, had cars, where he had 3 kids. The mother was on drugs, or whatever the case may be, not just in her situation, but it was what it was. He felt for the safety of his children, and the children were older. He should have custody, whatever. They went back and forth. It got to the point where they was really letting her know that, you could see in the case that she was, and I don't think they was trying to take custody. They was just really just saying he's going to get full custody until she gets clean or, continues to do whatever she got to do. When it got down to it, and it was about to give the ruling, she just, came out of nowhere and started accusing him of just, if you're in the court, again, if you're in the court and you say, well, one of the reasons why I don't want him to have custody because it's something I've been holding in for a long time. I remember walking one day, something happened that night. I don't want, it just changed the whole case. It won't go any further. So she did something like that and just brought up a whole bunch of nonsense, and they actually started arguing in the court. What the judge did is he quieted it all down, slammed his gavel down, quieted it all down, felt like it was nonsense and buffoonery, and said, we're going to go ahead and take custody away from both right now for evaluation for the father and for the mother, and they had the kids placed with a mutual family member. Because they were old enough, they was able to say, grandparents or whatever. But it's stuff like that. Even when I went to it was said that the mother said, was speaking on me being a weed smoker. Now, like I said, I'm grown. I have no problem with admitting what I do, but it's also how you do it and where you do it. Besides living with my daughter, when me and my daughter's mother were together, I think we separated before she turned 2. No, I did not leave the home, ladies and gentlemen. That was her decision. If it was me, I would have been the Huxtables right about now. But going through that case, the little monkey wrench that was thrown in at the end was, well, he uses drugs. Number one, that's already. So you say that.
Black Power, Brother Bourne.
Yeah, I mean, he uses drugs. Now, we can break it down and, it's just weed or whatever. But, yeah, they approached me on accused drug use. So I said, no, I smoke weed, but I tell you again, I don't live with my daughter. So if she's not there and she's not present, yeah, I'm grown. If I want to get off work, drink a beer, smoke a blunt, that's me. My child's not present. My child has not told you she's seen this or she's been involved in this, things like that. You talking about another adult who has done it with me. Now, you ask me if I smoke weed, you could check my system right now and see that THC is going to come out. Now, mind you, you're talking to the mother who swears up and down, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. But if you test her right now, THC is going to come out. Now, to me, I look at it like this. If we're judging character and who's being truthful and who's going to do what they got to do and be honest to protect this child, to me, that should have been a default. You're already lying to change that. To me, that's like change evidence. To me, there's no difference. If the evidence in this case is the blueprint is this is good father, but if you go plant a bag of, I think he did something, that's tainted evidence right there. You just ruined that case. And to me, that's how I look at it. Like, why take something to court when you're dealing with dirty cops? So to me, that has been the emotional overtake that I had. I started to feel like I'm about to take a trial that means I'm about to take a case that means so much to me to trial when I know that I could lose. But if I lose it, I got to do the max. And I'm not willing to lose that right now.
Black Power, Brother Bourne, family.
Oh, Black Power, too. Go ahead, Jay. I apologize. That was Brother Course. Letting us know
that was pretty much the end of that statement. Like I said, as far as what they say, like I said, and it's just, a police officer will tell you. There's been plenty of officers that come to the restroom. I'm sorry for this. I really don't want to, but she calls. Their job is to handle the arrest. You can tell the judge, you can tell the arresting officer all day, I got proof. I didn't do it. He said, hey, I hear you. Monday morning, you see the judge, you tell him that.
Peace, family. I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro. I had a quick question. Did the discussion get into, I hear the brothers, I appreciate the brother, man, because, me, myself, I have the same type of, I have an extensive history with literally taking a system to war, especially with child support and stuff like that. But has anybody, I'm sorry to just cut you off, but I had a general question because I keep hearing kind of like how it's supposed to go versus what it is. And the reason, I saw the title, and I got limited time on the phone, so I just quickly wanted to just touch on this, bro, if I can. But when you're dealing with this situation, you have to understand that the woman is property of the cracker. The system owns the woman, whether she's on welfare or whether she's not, because she's the one that's bringing forth the life that are going to fuel the system. And, I'm speaking from personal experience, and through my experiences, even as far as being able to get custody of my son, paying child support, not paying child support and all that, the conclusion I came to from going to the top, beyond having a trial and all those things and speaking with the people who actually make the decisions was, it's a joke at the end of the day because your value as a black man is based on your non-existence. You know what I'm saying? You ain't that is period. The goal is for you. You're not supposed to exist, and whether you identify with the fact that you do exist or not, the system doesn't function based on that. And one of the things I wanted to add on related to the fact that, again, regardless if a black woman is conscious of it or not conscious of it, or has kids or don't have kids, she has a potential to bear children into the society. It's a slave society, and they know that she is their property. You get what I'm saying? We as men don't understand that. We don't acknowledge that reality, and that's the reason why we gotta pay. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's based on slavery, and it's as current as it was when the baby was taken straight out the womb. And again, we have to be careful about generalizations of the woman's condition as far as it's only welfare mothers, when a lot of black women got more jobs than black men. So we can't keep using a cracker generalization with the position of the black woman requiring state assistance when she works a job, she's required the assistance of a cracker's business. So it's really no difference in that. The challenge we have to deal with, and again, I'm only speaking from personal experience, and again, spending weeks and months in court, and also mentoring fathers and showing them how to kind of fight the system, is that despite the fact that you're gonna fight to the death. If you get a victory, your victory is gonna be something you have to fight for to keep. So if for example I got custody of my son, when I got custody of my son through an agreement with his mother in court, although I got my son, I had to pay the state thousands and thousands of dollars. So I still had to pay and still had to deal with a poverty situation to invalidate the fact that I had custody of him. You know what I'm saying? I still had to prove paternity and all these things that I did. I mean, how do you get custody of a child that's not your? You get what I'm saying? But these are the realities that a black man might find himself facing. At the end of the day, the war we got to fight.
I didn't fully go in, so I'm glad you're actually, continuing. Like I said, I know where I stopped. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. But, again, that's what I did want to bring to the light, that exactly what you said, it's thousands of dollars. You got to prove paternity, you got to do this. So I'm glad that you are bringing it to the light that a lot of people just think that I'm the father, I go down there and say I want rights, and it's all done. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you have to do. No. The point is you got no rights. And you think you do, but you don't. This is the key point is that you can fight, but the victory, what are you really trying to gain? You get what I'm saying? You really have to ask yourself that. And you have to ask yourself, who is it that you're trying to fight against, and what is it that they really can give you that you can't get without fighting them? And that's the reality of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, again, this is that your life is in jeopardy when you fight for your children's rights. You already know that your life is in jeopardy because you're trying to play the proper role that you were born to play. You get what I'm saying? But again, you have no rights because she is owned by the white man. I'm not going to say the state. The state is the white man. The white man still owns the black woman. Period. And that's the reality. You have to deal with this based on the slave reality. You can't intellectualize it based on what it's supposed to be because it doesn't apply to you. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying this because I've gone to the state of Connecticut's capital, Department of Social Services, within the Department of Child Support Enforcement and their services, and spoken to the top representatives firsthand because I appealed and took them to court because I didn't feel I should have custody of my child and have to pay child support. You understand? And so the first conversation, of course, it was video recorded and everything. But he said off the record, he said,
you know that nothing is going to change. Why'd you even fight this far? Why'd you even go through all this just for me to tell you that there's nothing that's going to change? And he's telling me this I'm looking at this from the perspective of a white male telling a black man, nigga, you enslaved. It doesn't matter what you fighting for, you're enslaved. If you're not fighting for a victory beyond the shit they preoccupy us with, then there's no point in fighting at the end of the day.
And
I'm saying?
100% agree with you. But exactly like what you're saying, we're talking about a battle in the court. Like I said, I never disagree with that. Everything you're saying is exactly what I agree. Having to go to the court, this is a technicality you have to go through. We dealing with the white men and all the slave shit. What I'm saying is you're exactly right. Why isn't there more when you see that thing and before it even goes to the court? I know plenty of black, and like I said, I know
because you haven't won. You're not even dealing with the enemy that creates the situation.
Women who have children with black men, white men, whatever, and that's still a mentality. I'm gonna be honest, that's still a mentality of that individual, because there's plenty of families who they don't have to deal with it. Not every woman is like that. The same way you just said, don't want to generalize women.
Hey, bruh. My point. I meant it based on how I said it. It doesn't matter if it's Oprah. It don't matter if it's the most responsible woman you know. She's a slave, no different than the black male is a slave, and that's why the system is the way it is. And that's why you're not gonna that's why they can't solve your problem. That's why they can't help you. That's why they can only create the situation that you're dealing with.
That's what I'm saying. That's the issue. Why would I have to go to court? That's why I said you're not going to solve my issue. The person who has full control of solving that issue should be the mother. Why should it even have to go outside of our bedroom? Why should it have to go? Why should he be trying custody or
because you're enslaved. Because you're a slave.
Hold on. Listen, brother Cole. Hold on 1 second. Listen, let me say this right here. Let me clarify this right here. You know what I'm saying? The brother says that what Brother Cole has stated. You know what I'm saying? And Brother Jay, I think, is really the catch on is that the system is that this is a slave system, meaning that, the court exists, but it don't exist for you. It's just there, and you can go in there and try to use it, but the child is a slave already owned by the master because the woman is the property. So the child is property of the motherfucking state also. So you know what I'm saying? It's like Brother Cords, he got custody of his son. You know what I'm saying? He fought, you know what I mean? Put in his maneuvers, how he can maneuver. You know what I'm saying? And was able to make things happen for him. And really, and I've been privy to some of the things that's going on with him when we didn't have to. You know what I mean? Try to make sure little man on the low, the motherfucking child protective services, acting like they trying to snatch them up, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely...
Like you said earlier, like, you don't have someone who's contesting that. You know what I mean? So it's like there aren't women out there that have that self-worth and know their place. And there's some that don't.
Listen, this is the thing, though. It's regardless if they contested, like I said, when I went, it's regardless if she was contesting it or not. That's the route you're going to have to go. Like, you understand? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had somebody contesting. I had somebody who wasn't contesting, and I know that if I would have had to continue along and go to these parenting classes or whatever, if I was going to go about it their way. But that they was going to put me through that same situation. I lucked up in a certain kind of way because I was playing both states against each other because of the time limits that they had. Because my daughter had already been in Georgia for past a year, and in Connecticut say 6 months. But Georgia was asking for information that Connecticut couldn't really do. So I just wrote some shit up to send to them like Connecticut was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I caught a break. But I understand that's where the brother causes really come from the point that he wants you to see that the system is just a slave system, period. And we could want it to work a certain kind of way.
Yeah, because I've done everything that you legally can do I've done it and succeeded at it within that area. And I'm just speaking from experience. I'm not even speaking from a know-it-all perspective or nothing, but I'm speaking from hearing it from the crack of mouth at the top who makes the decisions that make sure your ass is running around in circles in their system trying to make something positive happen, whether it's with your child, whether it's with motherfucking a record. It really doesn't matter. It's not. If it's not there for your benefit and it's only working against you is my point. And you're right. You know, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be slaves. But, bro, we all have to deal with this reality. However, we got to deal with it, but it's something you can't ignore because everything else that you've been provided that you might think works or you can finagle and your effort is gonna fucking make you something a better outcome. It's just not the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the odds is like trying to make it to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at, we look at the numbers all the time, right? When you talk about how many brothers, right, actually take it to trial nationally, what's the percentage? Or what's the conviction percentage rate? It's like 98%. Might as well just call it almost 100% because nobody takes it to trial, right? Nobody fights back. Why doesn't anybody fight back? Not just because they don't know that they should. It's because once you already in their hands, you already a slave, first of all, boy. You already in a situation where you're going to take the lesser of two evils and it's based on what your master decides. You already done. You might as well just take whatever's coming to you. You already a slave. You get what I'm saying? And so free niggas in America need to realize they no more enslaved than the brother that's locked up behind bars. If we can deal with that, then we won't keep having this fucking mythological oasis idea that we are equal to somebody or that something in this system actually applies to us for our benefit when it doesn't. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like that for me. What I'm saying is there's a level of thinking that I'm saying there's a level of thinking that is African American in a lot of our people, and that American shit gotta get murdered in our brains. You get what I'm saying? And that's the rationalization for all of the shit that we think we gotta do or we find ourselves doing based on what the cracker tells us we should be doing. And he can't free you.
And I feel like the woman gets this information just like this. All this stuff is just like what discourage a father from wanting to.
Yo, listen, I'm trying to tell you, I got.
Hold on, Brother Cords, hold on. Brother Cords, you said that you done fought it and you done made some wins, right?
Yep.
All right, so then maybe later I'm going to plug the brother to you and you can show him how he can get a couple wins if there's some wins for him to be
Definitely. Won. Definitely. Right. Especially if he's in Connecticut, I mean, I know that inside out. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? This is my young G right here, you know what I'm saying? And he
definitely.
When he told me what was going on with him today, I said, man, you need to come with a line, and you know, you done been through it. So
yeah, from start to finish. I'm saying it from. Again, I became a father. Found out I was gonna be a father when I was 17 years old. That first child is a child I ended up getting custody of 6 or 7 years later. My son is 15. He just turned 15, and I homeschool him. You know what I'm saying? But for me to even get to this point, I had to fight the state just to get permission to be a father, and I had custody of him. You get what I'm saying? So I'm taking it to a parallel beyond just visitations or having a right to see or speak to your child, because we dealt with that. I dealt with that before coming to this point. Again, I'm sorry, bro. Part of my language based on the slavery talk, but I just had to say it for what it is for me now after going through it and hearing you. You know what I'm saying? Wanting better for the situation. So if I got resources, so it ain't even a matter if I got resources, but the resources I got are yours, to help you in this battle. But you gotta treat it, like you're running a fair one with somebody in the street trying to kill you, yo. If you don't treat it like that, and you got a small voice in your head telling you that something is supposed to go different than what it's going, and it, you know what I'm saying, when it don't feel like a nigga trying to kill you and you just simply want to see your kid for a day, if it doesn't feel like your life is at risk, not even outside of your kids, without you, there is no children. You don't have kids if you ain't here. You can't do nothing for them if you're not here, right? So you have to look at dealing with the system. I'm telling you from experience, and I'm not just talking about child support, but we're talking about child support right now, and the fact of the matter is you have to treat this white man like he wants to kill you. So if it's paperwork you're dealing with, you're not going to deal with this shit like Moorish motherfuckers. You're going to deal with this shit like the fact that the cracker kills niggas with paperwork, right? So if you got to fill out a form, the most important thing with an application is just knowing how to fill a damn thing out. There's nothing, you know what I'm saying? So there's steps to do that so that they understand you mean fucking business. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing extreme or technical. It's just basically you being honest. You always present who you are, man. Another thing you spoke on related to the marijuana, you never tell the cracker the truth about you. Ever. There's no need. He don't know you for you to know he doesn't know you personally for you to share any information that you know what I'm saying, anything that you partake in the privacy of your home. Because it's only gonna be a weapon used against you. You're dealing with the enemy. He hates you. You feel what I'm saying? He hates you, he hates everything that comes from you, he hates your existence. You have to look at it from that perspective. You have to. If you plan on winning any type of court case dealing with white folks, dealing with this white system, if you don't look at it that way, you're gonna lose. You already lost. I'm saying you're running a fair one, and everybody you come in contact with in that court agrees that you need to be destroyed and annihilated.
Hold on, the brother was trying to say something, Brother Cross.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I totally agree with you. The only reason why I was actually brought up because I was being questioned tested. So I was like, I'm not gonna. It was really questioning. I mean, I was already gonna get tested, so I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say no. I don't test it's in there. So that was. I didn't walk in and say, hey, how you doing? I smoke weed. I definitely didn't do that.
Man, just. You gotta treat it like you fucking being interrogated, and the next step is your ass is getting gassed.
Yo, listen.
So you need a lie to get out.
But because he said what happened was that they was going to test him. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, we're going to test you because we done got the report that you smoke weed, and he admitted at that point.
But they can't, homeboy. They can't force you to take no test, B. That shit gotta be.
Can't force
it
you.
might make you look bad. They might try to play it against you. Like, see, he doesn't want to cooperate. If you take a test,
he didn't get forced. Y'all gotta understand. The young brother was going through the process. He was going through the process as best as he could go through the process.
No doubt.
His child back. He was trying to follow all procedures. You understand? That's first time you win.
The checklist. Yup, the checklist.
Yeah,
he's trying to play by the rules, man. He's trying to play by the rules.
Follow all the rules and do everything I got to do. I'm supposed to do, like, and any extra that I can do, okay. I'm willing with whatever. I just want to see my child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how the brother went into the situation under that guy.
What you were saying, brother, as far as the other side, the whole like Dave was having me running in circles. I didn't realize that was just my first lap. After I got done.
Yeah.
I realized that.
Yo, when they be giving you some man, you
He said that was his first lap. After that, the brother said, man, I ain't with this shit here. This is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't stretching up. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, the whole thing is, and it requires you to tolerate bullshit so you can't even swallow no more, pretty much.
And he game too, brother. This brother Griff. What Brother Cause is telling you, he's doing this shit, and the mother's not even contesting. This is just him banging with the system. The mother's not giving him any flack about him getting his son. This is just the system. They like, damn, the bitch ain't gonna say nothing. Well, then we speak for the bitch. You sit down, bitch. I got this shit. Now look, man. We want you to get tested. We want you to do. They put him through that shit. His child's mother had no problem with him getting his son. Is that right, brother? Carl?
Say that again.
I said your child's mother was not in opposition to you getting custody of your son, was she?
No, but they penalized me. They penalized me. They penalized me for the next seven years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell the brother. Your child's mother was not even in opposition. The system took it upon themselves because the mom is the property of the state. They said, all right, bitch, shut the fuck down. We're going to speak for you. We got this. We got this. You shut the fuck up because you ain't doing what the fuck I told you to do. So guess what? Put your ass down.
Yeah,
all right, brother Carl, you motherfucking black-ass, coon-ass niggas. Now here's what I want you to do. And this is how they do what he's saying.
Yo, they want as far as to, like, offer her a house, help her get a car and shit if she just fucking worked with them to try to get my son and her back to in her custody so that they could pretty much set the system back up on me. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
Check this out, right? Connecticut is one of these tough states, too. Even though it's tough here because in Connecticut, what else they do is that the father has so little rights, or the father is so dead to the state, that even in the cases of if the mother has deceased, then the child goes to the closest mother's family.
Family member.
No matter if your name is on the birth certificate, no matter if the child been living to you, as long as one of these people said, listen, that baby come with me. That baby got right up out your arms, right to somebody else, because this is how they got it set up. It's just so, like you said, it's just totally against.
And this is the crazy thing. You could have had an issue. Let's say you ain't married, but you always had an issue. Your child's mother didn't like you, and like you said, unfortunately, she passed away. This is what she brought to you at that time. Like you said, grandma can come and say, "No, that child's supposed to go with me." That was my daughter's thing, and you got to do the same process. Now, not only are you not fighting for the child from your own. The other parent, now you're fighting from the grandmother, from the uncle, for anybody else, because, again, that's how the state is set up. Like, we don't have no right to the father.
And that's what the brother was saying, is that it's set up like that because it's there to show you, if you can see, that you were slave.
Exactly.
If you ain't got no property here, this property of us, period, point blank, period, especially in Connecticut. Connecticut got some of the most stringent goddamn custody laws that's out here. So this is what they want to get across to the people when you go up against them, that this is who you belong to. You belong to us.
And then
the same problem that I had. I went in. The mother wasn't contesting anything. I thought it'd be a sweet day in the park. I'm here. She signed off on the paper. I signed off on some paper. I go home. They said, nah, nigga, you got to serve her a warrant, nigga. I said, serve her with papers for what? What the fuck? I got to get
you got to go to the master.
I need the sheriff for it. I'm like, we live together. How the fuck I'm going to send the sheriff to the house where we live together at? What the fuck kind of shit is that?
So
serve her with papers. I was like, yo, that's going to be some crazy. Nah, man, I can't do no shit like that. I had a sheriff at my house to serve her with papers over our child. Like, nah, man, that ain't gonna go right there. That's why that shit. It definitely is something that's a lot of people, a lot of brothers having problems with, and the number one problem is, like you said, brother Cole, is they're not approaching it as war because they're not really seeing the context. You know what I mean?
Yo, I wanted to add this on. I wanted to add something on, just to spite the crackers, right? The whole, since I've had custody of my son almost 8 years, I haven't charged his mom. I didn't take her to court for child support, and I ain't asked a penny from her.
You did?
No, but that's what they
want. Even when they wanted, even if I had food stamps and they was like, hey, we need her name, I don't know her name.
I don't know her name. Yup. I don't know her name.
You still got to give them to me because I got custody of them. Give me them damn food stamps, motherfucker. Straight up.
No doubt. And
we don't talk. You know what I'm saying? I'll say some bogus shit. We don't talk. I don't know where she lives. Fuck that. Come on, man. It's warfare. You know what I'm saying? So even if the woman causing you hell, this is for the brother that was talking earlier. Even if your child's mom calls you hell and shit, make you want to kill niggas and all that shit, at the end of the day, you gotta understand she's just a tool.
She's a pawn.
So you can't seek out any sort of revenge if it's about your kid, and that's if it works out in your favor. You feel what I'm saying? Your goal is still to maintain some level of some dignity and balance. You know what I mean? That's first and foremost.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? That's
all women, but it's just some women that, to me, I don't even have that pride in themselves, but know their place in that. Like, why would you do that? Like that, and that to me, like I said, even with that, it's not about the mother and the father. That's still about the child. How could you really look at this child who all they want is their father, all they want is their mother, and you tell them no?
Easy, man. I got a wife and 2 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got 2 children with my wife, and I got 2 children with 2 different other women. I got custody of one of those women's child. My other child, that's a situation I deal with. You know what I'm saying? That's a reality, but look at it as a stage. Don't look at it as something permanent. You feel what I'm saying? There's nothing you could do about it, to be honest, but be strong and fucking build yourself up for when the time comes. You know what I mean? There's really, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I got a brother right now, right? My brother saw his daughter for her first birthday. She about to be 10. He hasn't seen her since that time because it's the same old bullshit. Baby mom figured out a way, got a lawyer friend and shit. They wrote up some crazy shit, and she got custody and get child support, and he can't see his kid. But that doesn't mean it's over for him being a father. He still got to be prepared regardless of whom or what because of who he is. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to be a man regardless if you, you know what I'm saying, regardless if you lose this battle against the fucking slave master or not. You still got a duty to yourself and to represent for your child whenever that time comes. That's it, man.
And the thing is this, too, little homie, like,
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Go ahead, Brother J.I. Go ahead.
When you're in that type of situation, you know, exactly what you just said, how we've all, you know, we know that happens. That's a big fear a lot of people, you know, be able to get the big lawyer, be able to write this paper. You having that woman who's spiteful enough and devious enough to go ahead and do what she got to do. But the one thing that we're told as men is you still got to be a man. But it's never in the rule book of having your kids snatched away from you. And that's cool. We're going to go through your emotions and everything. But this is the part I'm saying. And I'm glad I'm able to talk to you about it. Like I said, I definitely want to exchange numbers with everybody. You know, after we get up to here, anybody who can help, you know, get this step further. But there's no resources. Us as men, we don't know who to go to next. You know what I mean? There's like I said, I'm glad that we having this conversation. But it's again, we got to have a show and all meet up at a certain time and have this conversation. This is not just a conversation that you just bring to your next door neighbor or the dude that's sitting on the bus next to you. He like, I don't know what you're talking about. Either I'm not in my child's life, or I don't know the first thing about going to get custody or whatever the case may be. So it's like, you know, I'm glad that you know, like you said, you went through it and you was able to come back and get your child and everything. And like I said, I would love to exchange numbers so we get the information. My biggest goal is to get that information out to more fathers, because the sad thing is, if you post up right now, I miss my child, I wish I didn't go through a situation where my child's mother's keeping away from me. It's never 1 or 2 likes. You got 40, 50 fathers that are post right after that, I'm going through the same thing. And these numbers are crazy. And you'll be looking at that fathers, and you didn't even know they was going through that situation. You look at certain women, you be like, oh, she looks like she's holding it down, and yeah, she's a black woman, she handling whatever. And then, you know, you go through this situation. Like, we were on the phone now, like, yeah, I got this, baby mom, I got that. And it's really a story that goes on every single day. But it's always swept under the rug, or we don't know what to do past after we get told no.
You know, see, because I'm going to tell you one thing that hold everybody up is that regardless of whoever, like, we see the black woman, she's the one who looks like she's inflicting this on us, and we forget that it's a slave system, that she can only act out the program that's in her goddamn head.
Yeah.
And if she's not clearing her program, and I'm not saying all women got the program, but if she's not busy clearing her program, she's going to run along with exactly what it is. So then, instead of us putting our effort into the real fight, which is with motherfucking beef, or with the motherfucking white man in his system, and the shit that's built up, we instead internalize that fight with the woman as though she's the one who is actually bringing this to us. Now, yeah, she might be the tool. So you might have to deal with things with her. The real fight is with that goddamn, with the beast who created the system to make sure it rolls like that.
And I understand exactly what you're talking about. That's for instance, like a situation where like I said, and it's going both ways. It's not no battle against women or no war against women or, you know what I mean, downing anybody on welfare or anything like that. But again, I know a woman who can have one child and get on every aspect of welfare and everything else there is. And I know women that got 5 kids that won't touch you know, any type of help or assistance. And again, assistance is assistance. When you get 4 or 5 continuances and you on money assistance for 5 years, that's not assistance. You're getting carried. There's people that literally will milk that all the way until their kid is 17 and a half. And when talking about they did it all on their own. Like, no, there's a big difference. There are women out there that abuse, like you said, they have their programming all messed up. And you're right. It might have been the tool because, of course, she sees I can get some free money over it, she's going to do it. And like you said, we've been. But it is also her fault. We sitting there, we're talking, like you said, there's a lot of people that live. When I was living with my child's mother, I was still paying child support while I was living there with her. So, I mean, you still get this case where if you live with a kid, you don't have to pay support. That's not true. You think they're going to jump in the record and go change the fortune and stop it? They, like you said, they don't care. They're going to take all your money. But, like you said, it's the responsibility of the woman that you're sitting there with to be like, listen, I know that what I'm doing is going to cut his check off. He's going to end up going to jail. Like, when you go on the child support, before you walk in, they say, we're going to give you all a chance to go ahead and come up with an agreement. And then we'll call you up, you say what it was. I was in a rearage, and I was on my way to school. I was going to be graduating next week. They said if you guys can't come up to an agreement, you got to do what you got to do. So my rearage was like $8,000. They said it's up to the mother. You can either request for the $8,000 in advance right now and hold, or you guys can work out a payment plan. I begged her. I said, listen, I graduate from Stone Academy next week. Let me get on my feet. Let me do what I got to do. I went to school. I ain't missed no days. I'm about to graduate. She looked at me, said, you don't got the money? I said, you don't have the money. You just said, what are you going to do? She said, if he doesn't have the money, you can do what you got to do. They said, well, if he doesn't have the money, that's your agreement, then he's going to be incarcerated. She said, do what you got to do. And they locked my black ass up. So to me, that was her fucking decision. That ain't had nothing to do with nobody else. That was her fucked up programming.
So indeed, she's socially programmed in order to make sure that she hates you. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay with you going to jail. See, where can she get a context like that? That's what I'm saying. Like,
crazy.
Context like that. Well, how did she?
Yeah, she was given. That's some power she was given.
How did she get the power? You feel me? Who gave her the power?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They set her up in a situation where she can all of a sudden have power. And anytime you give a nigga power who never had power, then I got to use this power and as powerfully as I can. What you want me to do, Daddy? She knew what Daddy wanted her to do. Lock this nigga up. I'm going to give you that choice. Either give up that bread or you could make arrangements, but you know what our arrangement is. He's supposed to have that paper. What you want to do. That was already the setup. But do what y'all got to do. She can't say nothing against Daddy. Daddy was like, what? She be afraid to talk to the court. She been engaged and gave you custody. That's some shit. Wait a minute, Daddy been struck my hand for that. And that's what I'm saying. That's where it happened, where you see the part that's being played. Like, it's so easy to see the motherfucking, it's so easy to see the puppet. It's so hard to see Geppetto.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to see Pinocchio jumping over there with her mother, you know what I mean, with his or her wooden ass head, nose growing everywhere. But it's hard to see Geppetto, who manipulating the goddamn strings. It's hard to see the one who manipulating the strings, because like you said, yo, that's wild to give her that type of power over you. Come on, man, you don't get nobody power like that over nobody, man. You get power. You get this. This ain't got nothing to do to lock me up or her word. This is the motherfucking
weird shit going on in the realm, man.
Oh, go ahead. That's Brother Hayru. What you say, Brother Hayru?
Listen, background noise fucking shit up.
Some background noise.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That sound like a truck.
All right, my joint. But you, Brother Bourne, you right. Like right now, I'm dealing with the same shit dude dealing with. My shit is probably a little bit more greasier. I ain't seen my daughter in 8 months. I just got to see her yesterday. My mom was talking with my daughter's mom, and she brought her through. So, you know, I had to check the bitch. I've been going back and forth to court because, you know what I'm saying, the mom, after she started tripping, so I went and filed for joint custody, shared parenting. And no sooner than I file and I get my temporary visitation, mom gets a lawyer. Lawyer starts making allegations of sexual abuse. Now, without this lawyer, she was trying to insinuate sexual abuse while I was filing for my affidavit for temporary visitation. But we submitted our affidavits. It was written affidavit. So she put all this silly shit in there, the shit that didn't make no sense. My affidavit was laid out, clean cut, smooth. So the magistrate, wasn't even no judge yet, magistrate peeped the shit out, gave me my visitation through the mail. So after my second visit, mom got a lawyer anyway. Lawyer's like, okay, look, you're doing this shit all wrong. If you're going to do this, you set up a scenario. She's like, take the baby to the motherfucking hospital. Then you tell them that there was a situation where the child told you that the dad did something to her. So then from there, you take her to counseling. They're going to see when you take them to the hospital and say, okay, dad, she told me that her dad brought her back and her dad had touched her down in her private area. Let's just say she said that. So then they say, okay. They take her to the hospital. She might say, yeah, he did. Like, he's cleaned me before. Like, he you know, my daddy gave me a bath. Did he touch down there? She's like, yeah, he touched down there. So they like, oh, shit. So then they straight up, they send her to be evaluated by a social service worker who's going to say, oh, as soon as she repeats, like, yeah, daddy touched me down there, they're like, okay, boom, we need to get her and she needs to go to counseling. So they don't do no forward work to say, okay, look, to try to see if mom lying. They don't do none of that shit. They just go ahead, bring her in, process her. Now, by the time I went back to court for the first hearing, they didn't talk about they already had my daughter in sexual abuse counseling or whatever, and there's some very troubling things my daughter didn't say. So basically what they did was they basically fuck with my daughter's head to make her think the times when I was bathing her, cleaning her, maybe lubricating her skin or whatever, like, oh, I was sexually abusing her. Now, my daughter was like 6 at the time, going on 7. So she didn't know no better. And during this time period, she's not seeing me. So they got her mom got her up at the crib, fucking her mind up. She's going to see these little silly, sick-ass white counselors fucking her head up. You know what I'm saying? So by the time they get done with her, she thinks like something happened to her because they telling her your dad should never be cleaning you. He should never even be down in that area. If he is, then he's doing something bad. So like I said, by the time this shit done got all out, man, now they want me to go get a sex offender psych evaluation. So he's going to court, and I'm like, cool, I'll do that shit. It ain't no problem. But we filed a motion to get the cost split between me and the mom. Judge denies the motion and tells me I need to pay for everything. And the place where they referred me to go, the evaluation cost like a stack, $1,000. So they already know that's going to hold me up. Mom haven't even really proven any of the allegations. So how could you just move and tell me I need to get all of these evaluations before you even check to see if the allegations have any validity? They ain't give a fuck. It took me a little bit of time. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers is on some bullshit. So I got me a little punk ass lawyer, little punk ass cracker ass lawyer. He came in, he really didn't even throw no blows for me. Her lawyer throwing hella blows with all of this shit, with the counseling and shit. Once you get a counselor, a so-called quote-unquote professional, that shit tips the whole scale. So the only thing you can do at that point, you got to get another so-called quote-unquote professional to flip the scale back. Basically, they all getting paid, so they don't even give a fuck about you, the child, or the mom. They like, all right, whatever, bring this bread in here. You go do this. You go like brother calls. They sending you on wild goose chase, but they getting paid the whole time. So then I said, fuck it. Got to the point where my lawyer asking me for another retainer. I'd already hit him with $2,500 over about maybe a month. So then you got a guardian ad litem put on. Guardian ad litem, she wants a retainer of $1,000. So between me and the mom, we both got to give her $500. She's charging $200 an hour. My lawyer basically $190 an hour. Her lawyer's like $2 something an hour. So they all getting paid. They ain't trying to end this shit no time soon, for real. So in the analysis, boom, my lawyer asked me for another retainer. I'm like, it's been over a year now. I don't even have supervised visits. So I told dude, I said, man, I can't break you off shit. Like, I'm not giving you nothing, bro. It's been a year. I don't even have supervised visitation. So he's like, well, you know, I told you this was going to be a marathon, all this bullshit. I was like, well, shit, well, until you produce something, nigga, you're going to have to work with whatever I laid on you. So he's like, well, I'm going to remove myself. I had a court to hear. The trial was coming up in less than 2 months. It was like 6 weeks. The trial was coming up. We had a settlement conference coming up in like a week. So he basically, by removing himself, he already knew he was going to kind of leave me in limbo. And I ain't no lawyer, and you really don't want to go in them type of situations unless you got somebody who is a lawyer or knows the law well enough for you to be able not to get yourself in a sticky situation, especially when the mom's making allegations about sexual abuse or anything that could put you in any type of situation. Because she tried to go on a criminal tip with it. Because I ended up getting contacted by a detective. This motherfucker talking about I stopped by your crib a couple of times, but nobody answered. I wanted to see if I could meet up with you. So I'm like, yo, why the fuck would you be popping up at my crib? He's like, no, I was just, I wanted to sit down. I got this case came across my desk, and I wanted to follow up with you. I said, well, you could have, just like you calling me now, you could have called me. I would have set up an appointment with you and came to see you. And he tells me, well, I said, because I don't want my neighbors seeing somebody coming to my door thinking that I'm into something that I shouldn't be. He tells me, oh, well, they probably thought I was a Jehovah's Witness the way that I was dressed. So I said, man, listen, if you want to see me, we can meet up. So I set up I told him I could meet with him tonight. It was like 9 o'clock. He said, yeah, I'll be in the office. I called my pop-up. I let him know. He said, nah, man, I'm going to meet with them motherfuckers. You meet with them motherfuckers at business hours, bro. Don't go down there trying to prove nothing because you know you ain't do shit, so you so ready to go down there, but just chill. You tell him you meet with him in the morning. I told him I'd be down there in the morning around 10. So I go meet with the dude. I show him the little text messages and all the little riff-raff shit that she been on leading up to this point. So he already peeps game and was like, damn. He's like, only bad news I got for you. My daughter was 6. He said, you got 12 more years of this shit. So he's basically saying until my daughter get 18, I'm going to be having to deal with the roller coaster that the mom is on. But he didn't find no criminal, nothing to substantiate the claims because, it just wasn't there. So anyway, motherfucker, this all comes into court. But when I get to court, these motherfuckers act like the shit she said, even though Children's Services didn't validate anything, Columbus Police didn't validate shit. We get to court, and these motherfuckers is acting like the shit was already on and popping. So I was like, these motherfuckers is not even trying to see if the allegations are real. They just trying to move this. They moving their game. So, I ended up having to dismiss my claim probably about a month ago. I dismissed it because it got to the point my lawyer removed himself. I filed a continuance with the fucking court. The judge bitch denies my continuance. So I'm like, shit, she really trying to set me up because she knows that I don't have a lawyer at this point. And the hearing before that, her lawyer had filed for a continuance and they got it. So then I filed for a continuance to seek counsel and they denied me. So I'm like, this shit rigged up. So I went and hollered at a couple other lawyers and they was like, at this time period, I don't even have enough time to get ready to be able to deal with your case. So one lawyer was like, I can't even fuck with it. And I'm like, all right, fuck. I seen another lawyer, female, little white lawyer. She was the dude I talked to. He said you should just dismiss it. And I'm like, dismiss it and then what? He's like, just dismiss it and we see what's up. So I was like, I went and seen another lawyer. She's like, listen, the only thing you can do now, if you're the one who filed the complaint for custody, you can dismiss it and then refile. That'll buy you. Basically, you're gonna be starting over. So I was like, all right. So I went on ahead and dismissed it. When I went in there to dismiss this shit, I didn't know that I was supposed to mail a copy to her lawyer and the guardian ad litem. I just dismissed it. It was like 4 days before the hearing. But now 2 days before that, her lawyer had filed a motion to dismiss. So I filed my motion. We get in there. It was like the judge was pissed off more than anybody that I dismissed the shit because she was waiting to make the order to say I couldn't have no fucking visitation. So they was pissed. So I'm like, she's like, so we see today that you have motion in front of the court to dismiss based on this rule, that rule. I dismiss, I think without prejudice to make sure that I can, refile. So she go ahead, boom. Her lawyer is like, well, we want him to pay for the legal fees, all her legal fees. She filed a motion for me to pay for her legal fees and the legal fees for the guardian ad litem. And I said, she's asking, I'm up in here by myself. Her lawyer know the ropes. I don't really got the legal savvy to really be dealing with this bitch, and they already know that. So they basically fucking they basically doing me wrong because I don't know the fucking legal framework to be dealing with this bitch. I'm not no lawyer. That's why I said, let me get a lawyer. So she's like, well, what's your response to her asking for the legal fees? I said, well, first of all, the mom is the one who initiated all of this. So we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Second of all, I had to file for, my complaint for custody because mom was denying me access. So for her, we wouldn't be here. I said, second of all, they just filed a complaint for dismissal less than 3 days ago, and it got denied. So how is it that they was worried about legal fees when they already tried to get the case thrown out themselves? So what she ended up doing was she granted them the legal fees only for the guardian ad litem. So that was like, a little under a stack. She said she was owed $870. So now I done dismissed it. I'd have got me another lawyer. I got to refile. But we was in a venue where we was in a fucking cracker town because her peeps, she's a sister, but her peeps live in the burbs and shit. And the area that they live in is a little small suburb city, so when you get so deep, it'd be cracker shit. Before that, I have filed in Franklin County, which is a major, more metropolitan type of area. And when you get into them small-ass towns, you really dealing with the beast, like we dealing with them backyard, them trailer park motherfuckers. So they really ain't have no fucking type of polish at all. So now I done dropped the shit. I had to dismiss it. Now she gonna be moving soon. Her people's and ran out of money. Her mom and dad have got divorced. She living with her. This is how fucked up it is. She living with her motherfucking mom and dad. She's like 27. And she can't even support herself, let alone support my child. So basically her parents are taking care of my, supporting my baby and her. But yet they still feel like, she's supposed to have it. But so now I got to file back in Franklin County. I'm not filing out there no more because I ain't got a shot in hell getting nothing done out there. So it's a fucked up scenario, man. And if the mom wasn't really giving, doing all of this, it would be a whole different scenario. But she hell bent on keeping me from seeing my daughter just because, like you saying, bro, she see where your heart is at. And it's a programming at the same time. You just got some vindictive sisters. You got some good sisters. You got some bad sisters, just like you got some good brothers and some bad brothers. That's why I tell Brother Carl, his sister, that she's a good queen because she let him go ahead and do what he had to do. And now you got to respect that shit because she could have, they didn't offer all that. She could have just flipped the script, but she held the line. And that shit got to be applauded because for real, the community is supposed to, when you see members of your community on that fuck shit, the community is supposed to denounce them. Because if they knew that the community was going to shut them sisters down doing that bullshit, they wouldn't do it because of backlash. But motherfuckers ain't checking nobody. Motherfuckers got to get checked. If you know you got a good man in the community that take care of his children and the mom's on that bullshit, the people in the community supposed to go down to the little court hearings and shit, just show up. Like, look, I'm here. I'm speaking on behalf of the dad. I know this, I know that. You know what I'm saying? That shit helps. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing guaranteed, but that shit helps. Especially if the mom making allegations about sexual abuse or any type of abuse, or the dad is a dope addict and all that shit. All that shit, it carries weight, man. It carries weight. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing perfect. It's like the brothers is saying. The system is designed. It's a warfare. You get the fucking warrior out of the camp is ours. So they trying to get the man out anyway. That's a given. But you know what I'm saying? It's warfare, B. It ain't fair. It's grimy. All is fair in love and war. So you really can't do. I ain't crying about it, and I ain't even sleeping, bro. I go to sleep at 3 a.m. I wake up at 7:30, man. Like I can't even really. All my whole clock is fucked up because I'll be missing my daughter, and then the fact that the mom is, she's not even really taking care of her. I seen my daughter yesterday, just happenstance. I just ran, she came over to my parents' house. My dad called me, and I was hooping, up the way. I dropped everything. I'm like, bro, I got robbed. Like, oh, you ain't? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't seen my baby in like 8 months. I knew the mom was going to be coming back to get her soon. And my mom be on some bullshit, too, so she didn't work some shit out with my child's mother to where she'll allow her to bring her over and let her think, like, she'll tell her, like, well, I'll make sure he won't come see her. I'll make sure he won't be over here or whatever. Sometimes, women get on this vibe depending on what's going on. So it's always good to have the elder queens around there, man, because they ain't going for that shit. We missing that elder vibe in the community where, it take a village, man. Can't be having this bullshit. The elders and everybody, you got to step up, man. You got to step up and be like, nah, bitch, you tripping. He's a good dad. I know him. He always got his babies. I'll be there. Where's the court date? I'll be there. Just go down there and flood that shit. it's gonna make motherfuckers think twice, man. This shit is it's dangerous. It's too dangerous. So now my daughter only 8 now. They done taught her all this shit about sexual abuse and all this shit. She would have never even had no goddamn. She would have never even been cognitive and knew this type of shit even existed. I really don't even know all what they exposed her to. This shit's not gonna come out probably for years until I start to be able to get some time with her and start to be able to see what was going on, what they put her through, what type of evaluations they was giving her. And this is the shit that keeps a motherfucker up at night because you just know that your baby is behind enemy lines and the people whose hands she in is not even good people. So you just like fucked up because you don't really know what type of situation your baby could be in at any moment. But all you know is, damn, you can't even get to a motherfucker. You can't even get to it. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, at the end of the day, you feel like just going kicking her door down, snatching the baby up, and fuck everybody. Fuck the whole shit. Especially if you was able to see her and you seen her, you be like, man, fuck it. This might be the last time I might see her. Let me, you know what I mean? And they know that shit. They know that the man be ready to fucking, and that's what another thing. They was looking for me to kind of lose my cool. Mom making these allegations. I ain't seen my daughter in almost a year. I mean, I'm on edge for real. You know what I mean? A real motherfucker really ain't even going for that. They average motherfucker who really just want some real shit, man, fuck y'all, and they gonna do whatever. And they looking for you to do that so they can go ahead and slam the door shut. So it's a very tricky situation psychologically, spiritually, and I already know how you feel, bro. Trust me. And like Brother Bourne saying, like Brother Carl saying, like this shit is all over the fucking, definitely in the U.S., probably all over wherever the white man at. He's breaking the family structure now, trying to get the male out of there.
Actually, and that's where, you know, my young boy, he had to be out, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
His line started messing up because his phone was dying. That's where the noise was coming from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he jumped off, but I'm going to definitely make sure, you know, he'll be back in. And I'm going to make sure he definitely hook up with Brother Cole.
That's crazy, though, man. They make you take fucking parenting classes in Connecticut. Like, that's all part of the shit. Like, how do you know when a person would need parenting classes? Like, when a motherfucker been with their child from jump. Like, that's crazy. What you know is just
standard. That's standard right there. That's standard.
That's how you know it's bull. But if anything, you would say mom and dad would need parenting classes, but you like, nah, the father.
I'm gonna say it like this: that is its own pipeline, just like the school got a prison pipeline, and there's a whole bunch of other pipelines that crack are feeding off of. You know what I mean? That's one of the main feeders for the adoption services and stuff like that, and the foster parent homes. It has a lot to do with them being able to get families and take children out of the home and put them into the system automatically.
And check this out too, though. What do you teach your dad at a parenting class? Like, what's the curriculum? Oh, when you pick the baby up, you're supposed to hold the baby like this, and when you take the baby to the bathroom, like, what are you teaching me? Like, how do you teach a grown motherfucker who got babies how to be a fucking father? Like, please show me the paperwork. I don't get that shit. I mean, do you get that? How do you tell somebody how to be a fucking? First of all, I'm from a whole different culture and background. So some shit y'all motherfuckers might do, we don't even fuck with that shit. So how do you teach me how to be a father? Like, what do they tell me in this parenting class?
Let me tell you what they include, man. They say parenting education programs are classes designed to educate adults about the many issues children face when their family situation changes. The program trains participants about how to help children adjust in a healthy force or living apart from a parent. The programs include information about children's developmental stages, helping children adjust to parent separation, cooperative parent, conflict management, and dispute resolution techniques, guidelines for visitation and parent access, and stress reduction for children. If you got children under 18, you must participate in a parent education program within 60 days after a family case is filed in court. All parties involved in divorce, dissolution of a civil union, annulment, separation, custody, or visitation cases are required by law to participate in the parent education program. Both judges and family support magistrates have the authority to order your participation in the program.
Now you see that?
$125.
That's how they
go.
fix. That's how they fix that's their solution to the destruction they cause.
The program is 6 hours. What the fuck you gonna teach me in 6 hours, man?
And that's the thing. That's what Brother Meckenrod was saying. The subjugation of black people is a fucking full-time business for these motherfuckers, man. Whether you dying, whether you being born, whether you going to school, going to the army, whether you raise your children. I mean, they got the whole shit laid out to where they're going to make money off of your ass no matter what the scenario is, just by being here. Nigga, you cashing me out. And I can make more money by you motherfuckers being divided and fucked up than I can by y'all being a functional black African family. So my whole goal is to destroy y'all from the top to the bottom. The main way to do that is to get the fucking man out of the fucking house. Once I do that, it's open season. So the whole agenda for us has got to be how to build relationships between black men and women that propagate into strong families, i.e. strong nations, strong clans, strong tribes, strong nations. Man, that's got to be the priority. And it ain't hard, but the motherfuckers got us running this rat race day in, day out, drinking all this shit, eating all this bullshit. Niggas don't even know what the fuck they eating no more. You know what I'm saying? So the programming is coming on all fronts, man. But it's crazy, man. It's something that you said, it's a major issue, man. But just strong relationships between black men and women, man, that shit right there got to be at the forefront, man. Sister, the queen got to be the top thing, man. She's got to be the top eye on the prize, man. You know what I mean? And the males, you got, you know what I mean, vice versa. It ain't hard, man. Just turn off some of this bullshit. Get a motherfucker off the internet on that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Turn off the TV and shit.
Peace, guy.
Peace, sis.
I just wanted to. I heard your story about the sister and your baby mother. My story is different. I'm for the black man, and so when I had my child, he was working, and he had me on. He had my child on his benefits and everything like that. So no more than a month. He became a month, and then he was acting real funny like for the whole month he was born and everything. And so the next thing you know, he had told me that he had gotten another girl pregnant and stuff like that. So from that situation, I was still supporting him. I was going through his courts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what had happened was that I told him that I stick with him to the until the case is over with and everything. And so next thing you know, he he found out the child was his, and then I guess she filed for child support, and then he ended up going to jail. But in long story short, I did not I did not go for child support or anything, but his other baby mother did and everything. So I'm for the black man and everything.
That's the black power, sis. That's real shit. Is he still locked up, or is the situation and went to another phase, or what? Let me ask you this: do the dude take care of his children? I can't really blame a black woman who do that shit when a black man ain't doing what he's supposed to do. I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, I know sometimes the options be limited. Y'all feel like it when he ain't bringing in, like, helping you do shit. If he just leaving you out there with the seed, I mean, I can't be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I would probably advise you to try to do a different way, but I can't be mad if the motherfucker not taking care of his child, because now you pretty much forcing her to run to the system by proxy, by you not doing what the fuck you supposed to do. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mhm.
Was he taking care? Was he taking care of his child with the one you had with him at the time?
No, actually, you know, he never took care of him or anything. He just, you know, he's like really out of his life and everything. And I was always telling him, you know, come spend quality time, you know.
Yeah.
I was straight, but you know, because I had moved on to another person, I just, you know, he said forget that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he never.
Oh, he was mad because you moved on, so he didn't want to take responsibility for the child.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this.
I didn't care for a child support or anything. I just wanted him to spend quality time, so at least so he know his father. You know, I never, you know, took that right away from him because I want him to know his father.
No doubt. Let me ask you this. Prior to you having a child with him, did you recognize sucker-type tendencies out of him? Has he or was he changed after, or did you realize, all right, hold up, dude cute, this, that, whatever, but the nigga really not a responsible dude, and you chose to try to initiate a relationship with him over the fact that you knew that, okay, he ain't a very, very responsible cat?
Yes, I try to. I mean, well, I still be cordial, you know, when he come around and everything. Because
here's what I'm saying, sis. Before you got pregnant, did you know the dude was a sucker type nigga? Like, could you predict that he was going to do something like this before you got pregnant?
No, I did not. No, I did not, because he worked for he worked for Yale. You know, he had worked for Yale, so you know he's a responsible man. He was going to work every day and everything. And, you know, he would do what everybody do. You know, we go out, we have fun. He spend time with my family. It's like things like that. So it was like I didn't have no thoughts of him doing that. And plus, it was a female at his job that he had gotten pregnant and everything to that nature. So you know,
so it was a funeral at his job.
Yeah, and so you know, and the long, you know, and the bad part about it is like since he had to pay the child support, you know, it's like she really was the one that had put him in jail. After that, I was like, you know what? And then, you know, I think I brought my child to see him 2 times when he was only a couple months old. And I told him, I said, you know what, this is my last visit. I'm not coming to see you. I'm not going to bring, you know, I don't want him to be part of this lifestyle. So, you know, so you had a chance to just be out and stuff. You know, so you should just have, you know, been honest. And that's why I went down. So ever since then, and now my child, he's 19. And now he's just you know, he don't be bothered with him or anything like that.
Now the man that you got with prior, let me know if you feel like I'm getting too nosy, you know, I'm getting off of your situation. Did he step up and take care of the one that you had by the one who really didn't take care of his responsibility?
I'm proud to say that my man is born the co-host of the show. So yes,
okay.
He did. yes. You know,
and that's real shit. Black power.
Yeah. So he actually raised him and everything. He raised him up. He raised him.
That's his father.
That's his father. Exactly.
Good question. And I'm giving him peace because, you know, I got my queen in Ghana. I met her. She had 2. You know what I'm saying? We just had a little young boy, and that was May 21st of this year. But, I mean, I stepped in with the other 2. I'm like, look, as long as they're respectful, you know what I mean? They trying to get something done. I would be less than a man not to be able to try to provide some type of assistance and support and resources for them because they need it. I'm saying the queens over here, they need it. So right now, you know, I ain't got no qualms about it. And she even came at me a couple of times and disrespected, like, you don't treat them like your kids in the States and this and that. And I knew it was not necessarily because she didn't think it was true. She was trying to hit me in the heart. She took me for granted because she wanted me to tie the knot with her, whatever. And I was like, I will. I said, but I got to see a certain level of consistency coming out of your character because I don't just, you know, I ain't gonna make moves like that unless I feel like you know what I mean, you worthy. So when I went to see her last time, I had the ring and then I had stuff on deck, you know, but I ain't do it because she was just a little bit, like she was acting, she wasn't humble. So I was like, nah, that'd be a bad move. She ain't gonna respect me long term if I do it now. So when I came back, she was salty. And then even when I came back, I'm like, did you get your period yet? She like, I took some home pregnancy tests. I'm fine. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Running off at the mouth. I'm like, yeah, but did you get your period? She like, I said I'm fine. I said, okay. I said, well, call me when you get your period. Let me know. So next thing you know, 2-3 days later, she hit me. And we talking. And I had to check her. You know what I'm saying? It was a respectful check, though, because she was just out of order. So then she's like, well, just to let you know I'm pregnant, just emotional stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. I figured it might be, but if I would have went with your word while you was talking all that extra, I would have just been, I could have just been like, boom, F it. You know what I mean? And moved on, but just my spirit in me was like, nah, just sit tight. Because I had a feeling something was going down anyway. But now she all in pocket. She cool. And, we moving forward on a positive note. But
so you here in the United States or to Ghana?
No, I'm in the States. I'm in CO. I'm back and forth to the motherland, though. I was there in August, like last year in August.
Oh man, one minute. I have to ask you this question. How long is the flight from United States to Africa?
It depends. If you take a straight flight, like usually I go from here, and I go usually I go out of JFK. One time I went out of Dulles, out of DC. But the flight, my shortest time, I think was like 9 hours, 45 minutes, and the longest time was almost maybe 11 hours, close to like 10 hours, 45 minutes.
Oh,
but when you on there, man, they got the movies and stuff, so you can just, if you want to engage in that type shit, you can watch. They pretty much be having any movie that you want on the back of the little seat. You can just plug in. By the time you watch 2 or 3 flicks or whatever, 8-9 hours then went past if that's what you want to do. So I mean, the time it don't last very long. It sound long when you're like, damn, I'm just gonna be sitting and then on this plane I ain't gonna be able to move and shit. But nah, it should go pretty quick. I'll be writing flows and stuff when I'm on there. I just take a book. What I really do is I try to stay up the night before I leave. I just be up all night packing shit, and then when I go to the airport, I be like, you know what I mean? I ain't really slept the night before, so when I get on the plane, I try to nod out for like, you know what I mean, good 5 hours if I can or whatever. So I try to stay up, so when I get on the plane, I just go to sleep. But I usually end up doing that anyway, just because last minute you be trying to get, because last time I was there, I went for like a month. So I'm trying to make sure I got stuff for the babies, make sure she got what she needs, and just a whole bunch of little stuff. You try to pack a bunch of little stuff. Then people know you going. A lot of people here who got family there because they're the ones who took me there. So they'll be like, yo, when you get there, can you take this to so-and-so? Can you bring that? So it ended up turning into a task. But, yeah, it's about the longest I said about 11 hours maximum. Right. You'll have. But some people, they go, they get a layover in Europe. Maybe they go to Germany or whatever, or Amsterdam. Then they, come from here, they go from U.S. to Amsterdam, then they fly to Europe over. But when I'm going that distance, I don't like laying over and especially, this is bad enough over here. I definitely probably don't want to go to Europe and lay over. So I'm like, always try to get a straight flight. Cause I don't never want to lay over going that far. I want my luggage being all, just more hassle, more room for something else to pop off. So I try to go straight there.
Okay. And you know what? One other thing I want to say about the situation with my other big father. He just yesterday or the other day in like a couple of years ago, I found out that he also has 2 other bastard child by 2 other different women, and they are actually older than my son. So I'm like, wow, it's like I was like the last. Everybody knew, but I was always the last to know about everything. So I was like, damn, man, what the hell's going on? So yeah.
You said they was older than your son?
Huh?
2 other child? You said you got 2 other children that was older than your son?
Yes, 2. Yes. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, but it sound, you know what I mean? Sound like you was a good sister, you know what I'm saying? And dude just doing what he do. Sometimes it go down like that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I ain't knocking. My thing is like if you're gonna be rocking like that, at least you can do is keep your mate informed. So
be honest. Just say I'm polygamous. I'm polygamous and shit. I love women. I need whatever. Just let me know something. Don't just be me hanging. I don't like that.
Nah, and that's my thing. If you're gonna do it, just keep it 100. So if the female feel like she can't take it or the male feel like he can't take it, either party got a chance to remove themselves before. Cause like me, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? If you are, we making love, no protection, or I ain't gonna say protection, without contraceptive, that's heavy stuff because we change your fluid. So if you sleeping around, I want to know because I'm gonna go ahead and pull out. I'm gonna take myself out that scenario because I ain't how I get down. I can't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you was, I'd just be like, boom. It's cool. If we both knew and it was the mutual, like, okay, I'll do what I do, you do what you do, the relationship between us would be different. I wouldn't even deal with you in a way that I would deal with a person who I was sleeping with probably without no protection, without no contraceptive, because there's a certain connection there. Either way, it's a connection, but I understand, okay, I met you, you doing you, I'm doing me, we kicking it. I can understand that. As opposed to, because once there's no contraceptive, there's like, okay, I know that I could potentially get you pregnant. Not only could we transfer fluids and get each other sick, but I could potentially create life with you. So that changes for me, that changes the dynamic.
Right. And the sad thing is like, since he had my child on his benefits and everything, I'm pretty sure that he, that he's really want us to be like a family, entity kind of thing. But it was just a lot, all that stuff that was going on. He couldn't just, focus and stuff. Because I could see, during that time, now I could see how he was like kind of like distant. Yeah. And stuff like that. And I would ask him, I said, you all right? What's the matter with you? You acting strange. I would ask him questions like that. But, he said, nah, I'm all right. And so, so that,
because he had that guilt on his dome piece.
Yeah.
That's a heavy weight when you know that your other party confide in you. It'd be different if he knew you was on some greasy, and it'd be like, whatever, she doing her, I'm doing me. But it's like, okay, when this person, and you know what, it's funny, I find sometimes, I ain't gonna keep you on too long, but I find sometimes there's a lot of resentment sometimes for one party over the other, especially when another party, like the one that's doing all of this foul stuff to me now, she kind of wanted to settle down, but I'm like, look, I ain't that ain't where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? I still took care of her, they lived with me, whatnot, but I was still doing me. Like I let her know that early, so she was like, okay, she could deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was bringing chicks to the crib in front of her, none of that stuff. But it was like once she seen that I really wasn't going to be right with her the way she wanted me to, I think that kind of created another, element which caused it. That's why she's so bitter now. Like she's so vindictive and bitter because she felt like I don't know if it's like she felt like I just kind of, destroyed her life or whatever. Like if I can't have you, nobody gonna have you or whatever. But my thing, like, okay, it's cool if you got.
Wait, this the one in Ghana?
No. That's the one that I was talking about. The one that's trying to say got allegations of sexual abuse from my youngest brother.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she's the one. I mean, she's rampant. You know what I'm saying? I seen her the other day. Like I said, she's at my peeps crib. So I seen my daughter. I took pictures with her. Whatnot. It's been like I said 8 months. And then
right.
So when she came to pick my daughter up, I waited for her because I knew she was coming. So I'm like, maybe I might be able to holler at her and try to squash some of this shit and bring some clarity. Man, when she seen me, you know what I mean? I'm like, what's up? She just rolled her eyes and walked past me. And then my dad like, look, relax, man. This chick, they was at my parents' house. So when she was leaving, like my daughter came out. I'm walking my daughter to her car. I got my arm on her, so she's like, get your hands off my daughter. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? She's like, get your hands off my daughter now. I said, man, this is my daughter too. She says, well, you lost that right a long time ago. So she's been trying to fill my daughter's head with a lot of bullshit, like I said. But, I mean, it was just so much fire. So she like tried to grab my arm, take my arm off my daughter. I'm like, man, what are you doing? I'm like, chill out, man. You're not running shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think. You're not running. I really was ready to just snap on her because of all of what she's doing, really mostly what she put my daughter through. So in the analysis, they roll. You know, my mom's like, what are you doing? Just let them leave, let them go, this and that. I said, man, shut up. Like, you just shut up. Because you part of the, you the fucking problem. You're the problem. Because you over here, first of all, this girl making allegations about me sexually abusing my daughter. I'm your son. And you can sit here and politic with a motherfucker who's basically saying that the child that came out of your womb would do something to that magnitude. I said, now, they live in the same development. My parents live in the front of the same neighborhood. Their parents live in the back. There is one way out and two ways in. They drive past my parents' house every fucking day. She driving past my parents' house with my daughter. So over 8 months, she haven't stopped to bring my daughter over there so she could see my parents. And I had talked to my daughter on the phone in between this time. I'm like, have she took you to go see grandma and grandpa? She's like, no. She said she's busy. She's going to take me when she gets some time.
Wait, Marshall, the reason why y'all have broken up because she found out about the one in Ghana, or she just...
Nah, she didn't find out about nothing because all my stuff is disclosed. So she knew prior to anything what was popping. She was living with me. She was living with me up until my daughter was like 3. You know what I'm saying? She was doing her thing. I'm like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking you. I know you might want to see something, so I'm not going. I was providing food, clothes, and shelter. You know what I'm saying? Doing my part. And she wasn't paying no rent, no nothing. She was going to school. In fact, I spent like 10 stacks just sending her to school because she had a scholarship, full ride. And what she did was she just couldn't keep her GPA up. So like 3 quarters in a row, I had to, I was kicking out the little three stacks for her to go. And until she was on probation until she got her GPA up, but she never did. So she ended up pretty much just dropping out. She wanted me to pay again. I'm like, man, I'm not. After 3, I'm like, you got to go holler at your dad. She didn't want her parents to know that she wasn't meeting the criteria needed. I'm like, bro, you don't have nothing to do. I got the baby most of the day. You know what I'm saying? All you doing is school is your gig. When you get home, you come back. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. You ain't. That's your hustle. So when you finish, you'll be making your bread. And I looked at it as like I'm helping her to be, create a foundation so she would be able to have income in case anything happened to me long term. She gonna have bread. She gonna have resources. But she dropped out, and then she wanted to start getting her ticket phase. Met her a little dude. So what happened is I'm at the crib with my daughter all day, which I ain't have a problem with. But I'm like, look, I can't take care of business and keep shit flowing and babysit. And I'm like, she coming home 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, listen, it's cool, whatever you see a little dude. That's cool. We wasn't sleeping together or nothing. So at this point, I just, let her do what she do. But I'm like, you can't be coming home no 3, 4 in the morning. So she like, oh, this what you do and blah, blah. I said, listen, I'm out trying to make shit shake to make sure that, the household is tight. I ain't out kicking it. So she's like, well, I think I'm going to go back to my mom's. I'm like, if that's what you want to do, that's up to you, but you can't just be coming in 3, 4 in the morning because ain't nothing getting done. I'm babysitting and I'm providing. I said, nah, you got to be here to be able to maintain some camaraderie within the household. So she went back to her mom's. We were still cool. I'm picking my daughter up from school and everything. She with me through the weekend. She go with mom. And then it just came to a point where she did a lady friend. She do hair, so she did a female friend's hair of mine. And like about a week after that, she just started acting kind of funny. Now she already knew she doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. There wasn't no issues. But I don't know what flipped the script. Her mom was there when the girl got her hair done, so I don't know if her mom was like, why are you bringing some girl over here or whatever. But the girl paid her, though. You know what I'm saying? I did it because I'm like, look, she needed some braids or whatever. I know you need the bread, so I try to plug that in just on some out of the, try to get her some bread. Keep it black on black as far as just circulating money and shit, and just, both of y'all can benefit. But like I said, week later, she started acting funny. The sexual abuse stuff came up later. Like that was after I went and filed for joint custody and got my shared parent, got my temporary custody. So it was a build up, but she got to the point where she was just like, I see that this dude really only wants his daughter. So guess what? If I want to get at him, boom, this is how I'm gonna get at him. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna use the daughter because that's all he worried about, and that's where it's been ever since. So, yeah, the day before yesterday, she's still on it, and it's been over a year, and my daughter's suffering. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that kills a man, for me, like, I'm almost in a situation where motherfuckers is just taking, like my man was saying, somebody just take your child from you, and you almost kind of powerless in the sense of you can't really. Right now, I don't have the ability to be able to get her, so I gotta, like brother Carl saying, I gotta play the game to win. So I just gotta be ready when the door open to come in and take control where I can. Right now, though, you know what I mean. I gotta take these blows right now. It ain't easy. That shit be rough. And I got my baby that just came through. I got an older daughter that's 18, so I've been working with her. I always, I'm a family dude, which most black men are. We family cats, regardless of what the society try to paint the image like the black man that don't. All the brothers, most of the brothers I know, 8 out of 10 of them right there for their seed. So I don't know what the shit is about black men don't take care of their family. The brothers I know, they family dudes. That's just from my circle. So I can only imagine when you go outside, brothers the born know, other cats on the line know. I don't really know too many deadbeat dads. I know a lot of dads that might be going through some issues with their child's mom and the system and stuff, but all the dudes I know, especially the street cats, so I don't even this stereotype like drug dealers or whatever, quote unquote, don't take care of their children. Like the street cats, anybody that I know in the streets is family first. So I don't know where this little stereotype coming from. They just trying to mislead the masses. It's probably more white dudes that don't take care that's leaving the houses abandoned than it is brothers.
Yeah, no, it's like 3 out of 10, man. I said like 3 out of 10 motherfucking dudes might
you feel me?
Might be fucking up. But the other 7 is doing the right thing. Like I see the fathers, you see them walking their kids to school, you see them pushing the stroller, you see them at the park with the babies. I go past the park, they out there pushing them in the swing. And, you know what I mean? They out there.
Putting that work in, man. Niggas just putting in work, man. Brothers putting in work. That's what I see. And I even see a lot going to the court system, banging with the beast, trying to get custody, trying to do their shit.
Yeah, I know a couple brothers who got their kids. I know another brother who got 3 of his kids. You know what I'm saying? 2 girls and a boy. Got 3 of them. Around the corner from you. So
and you know what, brother, boy, and sister, like a lot of brothers is taking care of children that's not their biological children, and been doing it for a long time. It's just part of most women, huh?
No, the question I want to ask, did you grow up with a 2-parent home?
Yeah, my mom and pops, mom and pops been in the gang. My dad, they split for a minute. My dad grew up, you know what I'm saying? He grew up with no pops, though, really, because his pops did like an 18-year bid when he was like 3. You know what I'm saying? So, and then by the time he seen his dad again, he was 18. So his dad was like, But yeah, I grew up with my moms and pops. They had a little split, but my dad was still learning how he was developing into a man because he had to do a lot of things on his own. But he always been there. I don't remember no hungry nights. You know what I'm saying? No nights with the lights and shit on. When we went to stay with him, he was a soldier, so sometimes he ain't had no gas and shit. He he always had a good little job, getting some money and shit, but he just was so raw. Like, they came up in such a raw time. That shit was that's a luxury. To have fucking electricity and gas and shit, that's a luxury to motherfuckers. They don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Our people come from the eras, man, where, what I'm saying, that shit wasn't always there, and it became something that was the norm. So to have that shit now, fucking microwaves and this and that, that shit was, and that was the part of the development and growth that helped. We come from a strong background because we did the most with the least. But yeah, my parents, for the most part, they've been together. They're going on 42. They separated for like maybe a year. You know what I'm saying?
You saying that my mother and father did the same thing. And they probably the same amount of time, son, 40-something years. They separated for a little second because Pops was doing his own motherfucking thing, doing his thug sizzle. Out there.
You feel me?
Out there in the streets, a little too harder than my mother was wanting to play. She said, I can't play that hard.
What got him back? What got him back?
Yeah, she said, you got to get the fuck up out of here playing hard like that. Now.
Yeah.
One or the other, you know, I'm leaving and you leaving, and shit, something got to change, though.
You smell me? And then, like, my pops, like, what kind of got them back is, like, somebody broke. I think I was, like, 11. Somebody had broken our crib. Like, I was with my brothers and shit. We was out. It was, like, probably, like, 10. We was egging cars, like, not too far from my crib. And, anyway, I don't know if this was the dude who broke in, but that night, like, one of the cars had just stopped and parked at the end of my dude's street. And, like, our house was, like, almost right by it was like a court. You got a main neighborhood street, and then you got different courts that branch off. So we was at my dude's house. We watching the car, and it was getting late. So we like, man, we got to get to the crib. I was like maybe 11. And my brother like, we just cut through the grass and walked right to our crib and shit. And he was watching. So I don't know if this was that dude, but that night somebody broke in our crib, beat up my mom and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was the situation. You know, my oldest brother was living with my dad at that time. He ain't lived that far away. They probably lived about within a 5-mile radius. So it was just me and I had an older brother who's like a year and 3 months older than me. So anyway, like I said, he broke in, beat up my mom. My oldest brother woke up and went in there, turned the hall light on and shit. So the dude ended up just rolling, like running, left the crib. I was kind of scared. I heard some noise and I didn't want to get out the bed. So after that, Pops came that night, took my mom to the hospital or whatever, and then slowly they started to kind of get back together. So.
Yeah, because I know the black man seen this woman hurt. He said, oh, what the fuck? Hold up.
Man, she was swole up a little bit, too. She was swole up. And I was kind of like, I've been carrying that little guilt sometimes because I'm thinking, like, maybe that's because me and my brother was egging rides and shit, like, so maybe we might have been the cause of it. You know what I'm saying? But it got them back together ever since then. You know what I mean? Plus, my dad was wilding a little bit, too. He's still on the street shit, shooting dice, staying out, shooting dice. He ain't no real... He come from the old school hustle, so mostly gambling and shit is what he was into, but he still was a solid-ass cat. He didn't take no shit from nobody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how my pops, my pops sort of cut it from the same type of cloth, man. You know what I'm saying? But,
yeah.
You know, that's definitely a wild situation right there, man. But, you know, like I said, you know, that black man seen that, said, man, nah, listen, this ain't going to work now. This shit ain't going to work. You can't be getting beat the fuck up and shit like that. Nah, you need some protection up in this motherfucker right there.
Feel me? You can't want that.
You got babies up in here. I need to be back up in this house.
And that was the thing, too, at that time. A lot of people... See, we don't even, because a lot of shit happens in the community like that. Usually it's somebody who lived within that neighborhood or within that radius. They know what's going on. They knew my pops wasn't around like that. My mom, you know, she's a pretty sister. So
Exactly. Somebody they was watching. That wasn't had nothing to do with no age. That had something to do with opportunity.
You feel me?
Yeah, plus you live out there in I said, where was you living at then? In the old In the old?
Yeah, I was living in the O. We was living in a spot called Walnut Creek.
Yeah, man. Man, listen. The Midwest breed motherfucking serial rapists and killers, man.
No doubt.
For some reason, so I don't know what it is, but them motherfuckers be out there deep. Now, they all over the place, but out there.
Yeah. Columbus is a smooth little city, though, because it's like, I don't know, it's like that little crossroads from the east to the west. So a lot of cats come through here, different walks of the game. Like where I grew up it was kind of like, I don't know, kind of like Boys in the Hood type shit as far as the houses. It wasn't like necessarily no super hood shit, but it was just almost like, you know, decent black income families, just blue collar cats working. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no slum shit though. You know what I'm saying? But that element was out there. But it wasn't, the majority of the element was just working class families and shit. So it's kind of crazy. but it was mostly black. It was one of the old neighborhoods that used to be all white. You know, some black people, because my pops, when he first moved out there, they was like one of the first black families to move up in there. There was some out there, but it wasn't majority. Then the whiteies start white flight rolling out. Then, you know, our people start moving in. But it was a nice little community. We had the little block parties and shit every year. I mean, everybody knew everybody. So we get home from school early. We go at the next door neighbor's crib, but we'd be around the corner, you know, until moms and pops got home. So we go over there, Miss So-and-so, they got peanut butter and jelly the whole nine. It was some real community stuff. Like now, and I don't know, depending on where you at, and a lot of people just growing up in the fucking suburbs now, so you really don't have that type of tight-knit black community like you used to because, you know, resources ain't plentiful. And that was the thing. The resources weren't plentiful, but there was just this cohesiveness amongst our people at that time because they wasn't running all these programs as heavy. All this shit wasn't out here. Money wasn't necessarily the main thing as much as it was, like, respect. There was a level of honor and like Brother Little said, integrity and shit. The black men in the community was decent soldiers, man, and they would pull the youth in, you know, and create circles where, you know, the youth could get a little bit of knowledge about history and how to be a man, shit like that. I mean, it was just more it was substance more to that. What's that?
Like how old is you, brother Griff?
39.
So we in the same age range. We're in the same age range. I'm gonna be 39 coming up.
No, and it's funny because when I was coming up, like I had flunked the 7th grade clowning, and I started school late. So what that did was I was with a different group of cats, and when I flunked, I got back with a little younger generation, and they was a little more wild than the generation that I was coming up with. Because when I looked at them, the generation I was with before, they was cool cats and shit, but they really wasn't like, they were like, when I fell back with the other cats, when I flunked, like, that was the year, like, you know, Menace and all that shit was coming out. And them, you know what I'm saying, they just had a different mentality. The other dudes, some of them were street dudes, but most of them was like sports cats. They played football and shit. And then when I got back with the younger cats, I could see the more reckless type of demeanor in their nature as far as just being influenced by the media. Because that shit, see, what we seeing now, the youth doing, that shit ain't start then. Yeah, it ain't start now. That shit started back when Menace and all that shit was coming out. Because I know niggas that was really start jacking motherfuckers in the drive-thru and shit after they was watching this shit. And my dudes was thinking, like, my little young homies, they thought that shit was, like, hot.
Yeah,
you know?
They took on the persona of old dog, man. They wanted to be king, man. They wanted to be what they were seeing. Because that's what we were talking about this shit earlier about Harry Potter and magic. I don't know if we get into this shit, but we were talking about images, though, that you see on the screen. Like Harry Potter doing magic, right? They be doing magic. And so it's something that our kids, they can connect to the magic part. They like, it's something there that I can connect to. But
resonate with them.
But because it's practiced by all the white people, they don't really look at themselves in the mannerism that they could participate in something like that. But when
no doubt.
When they see Menace, they see, you know what I'm saying, Boys in the Hood, you see Juice, you see motherfucking New Jack City, you see these type of movies, you can see you. Them people look like
you feel me?
Feel what's happening because it's going on around you, but also you can be them. I can be them.
Like that shit is attainable, huh? That's attainable. I can give me a quarter ounce and get out here and start making it happen.
I can be him because look, he looked like me for one. Like me for one. He lived in the area that I live in, so I can do what he do. He got a story like mine, and he looked like me. That's the number one thing. He looked like me.
Yeah.
Looked like me. So that's why they can like Harry Potter. They can put the stuff up. That's why white kids can do it. They can like the rappers. They can put the stuff up. They never really can actualize and really be what they seeing out of the black people. They can try. Same with our black kids, they can try, but they can't actually get it because it's only visualized through that white thing. You know what I mean? You know, it's the Jesus syndrome. You can
The part you saying, Brother Born, is the systematic part of it. This is how the system indoctrinates you because they use every aspect of it to fucking create that image, that concept, which backs up and reinforces whatever program they want you to fucking become acceptable to. You feel me? And this is why people who are entertainers and athletes, they don't understand the power that they have, how dangerous they can be, or how powerful they can be in liberating or destroying the minds of the babies. Because if you take those people out of that equation, the white man, we're not gonna resonate. They don't have the element for us to resonate to the shit that they do. You know what I'm saying? The only thing when it resonates, like you said, when you put black face on white ideology, then you like, oh yeah. So instead of you seeing Al Capone, I'll put Jay-Z on there. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll put a black face on white culture, and you'll gravitate to that shit. And when the white boy do the shit, he come before the judge, you slap him on the wrist. When the black boy do the shit, you gonna fucking throw the book at that motherfucker. And then you're going to say black kids are just criminals by nature. And i.e., they're going Amos Wilson, the criminalization of the black man and woman. And then what happens over time is we start to propagate that shit in our minds, the elders, the community at whole. So we be like, you know what, you lock them niggas up. Niggas don't want shit.
No, listen,
this
right?
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, because, like, you can't be the Genovese family, but you can be the Wu Gambino.
You feel me?
You know what I mean? That's the type of shit it is. But, yo, listen, let us, we want to make sure that we end off on the note on the follow.
Yeah, got you.
But in the after party, man, there's a lot to discuss in the after party, man. Because Brother Wu sent something to the group, and I seen it, and, you know, I just want to discuss that and see what the family got to say, because I think we need a Slaughterhouse Saturday, because there's a lot of, I think that we being attacked, but we being attacked through, they're using a persona to attack all of us at one time. And so what I want to say is I want to thank, you know what I'm saying, my young brother J.I. for coming in and you know, and just having the gumption to come in and speak his story. I'd like to thank everybody for speaking their story. I'd like to thank Brother Griff for telling his story. I'd like to thank, you know, my lady for coming in and her story.
Black power.
And just giving people some background to some of the things that's going on and the Think Tank Thursday as a solution. The solution is that one, you have to handle this in the mannerism of that you are at war when you're dealing with anything dealing with the court system. If you are a father and you are looking for help with inside of the court system, you're looking for justice with inside of the judicial system, then you are automatically coming from a position of failure. You know what I mean? So you must always, as a play on power, it's always a struggle for power when dealing with these Caucasians inside this judicial system. The white man has it set up against you because you do not exist, because you are a slave, and especially if you're a non-producing slave. And even if you produce, you're still a slave, and you're a black man slave, which really means that we don't want to see you anywhere around us. Pretend like you're dead, and we'll be better off.
And I would advocate, too, for the brothers and the sisters, especially the brothers, man, like, watch who you fucking with when you're dealing with these types of issues, because, you know, you got these dudes, the League of Dads and Amin Osiris, and these motherfuckers is talking a whole lot of stuff. I don't know how effective they are or aren't, but like you saying, Brother Bourne, this shit is war. So there's no perfect formula to go in there and deal with this shit in. I done had, like I said, I'm on my second lawyer right now. What I did find out is it's very difficult to navigate through that system unless you got you a legal mouthpiece or unless you know your shit. And what happens, when I noticed, when I tried to go in there and represent myself, even just for that small amount of time, then them motherfuckers made it seem like who the fuck does this nigga think he is, come in here and think he gonna fucking represent himself. So it was like almost a vendetta from the judge and the other components to try to show me, like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You're not qualified to be in this type of circle. So, you know, all that fair, you know, you might be telling the truth and dropping that shit, man. That shit be going in one ear, out the other, man. They'll let you talk and everything, and then after you get done, nigga, no visit, no nothing, you know what I mean? Thanks for coming out. Mom got custody. So you got to be real careful. So, you know, I know it costs money, but if you ain't got no bread, you really ain't going to be able to, I don't think you'll be able to get too much done in the sense of unless you just know the law that well where you can go in there and handle them motherfuckers, man. And then at the end of the day, you're dealing with crackers, so they're not playing fair. So you might file motions and you know your shit and motherfuckers is documents coming up missing or whatever have you. So, you know what I mean? By any means necessary, man, at the end of the day, that's the war motto.
Now, you know that, man. And, you know, we seen what the sister did. Child Protective Services came to her daughter. She shot him up off the steps. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's a time for everything. It's a time to file the paperwork. It's a time for, listen, man, this is my child. Fuck what you heard. And
I also just want to say real quick, if you can sit down with your child's mother or the child's father, whatever, because sometimes it be the man be doing a lot of fuck shit too. It's probably not as you know, consistent, but the best thing to do is try to stay out of that fucking system. If you can avoid it by sitting down with the other parent and y'all working something out, even if y'all need like grandma, uncle, pops, mom, somebody to be there to try to mediate, that's always the best move, because once you bring the cracker in, they're going to try to create divide and conquer, man. That's what they do, because it's about getting bread. It's about fucking up the family. So the main thing is if you can keep that shit out of the court, and I respected this shit about a couple of lawyers that I talked to. Even like the last one I just got, she's like, listen, is the mom even, like, is she even communicating with you? Can you talk with her? Because some of them know. They like, basically, especially if the mother is not in agreement, it's going to be a long day in hell for you to get some shit done, let alone if she's making some type of crazy-ass allegations of abuse or you smoking crack. I mean, that shit it fuels the fire. But if you can keep it out the system, then I would recommend, bruh, just go holler at your queen, man. Even if they're not together, sit down. Look, I'm going to shoot you $100 a month. I'm going to do this. Because it's better than getting on paper, man. So if you can work something amicable out with her, that's what you would do. Some queens just want you to be like your queen saying, boy, I just wanted him to be there as a father. Like, I ain't asking for money or nothing. But when you a real dude, they don't got to ask you for shit. You know your baby needs some kicks. They want to play football. You already know that shit, so supposed to just come with that. She shouldn't really have to say too much. Now, if you ain't got it like that, okay. If you there and you ain't got the finances, but you can still contribute just by the support of you being there, that's cool too. Picking them up, taking them to practice, or being a part of his life. But you're supposed to work that with the queen. You're never supposed to let the queen be like, oh, well, why can't you do this? Like, you got it, but you don't want to give it. Like, nah, you created the life. You the provider. That's your number one job, is to make sure that, you know, at least for the child. I ain't saying you got to take care of the mom if y'all not together, but the child shouldn't have nothing that they really need for it. And my daughter's mom, my oldest daughter's mom, she keep the insurance covered, and I pretty much just take care of whatever else my daughter really needs. My oldest daughter's 18, so whatever she needs, I try to take care of her. Right now, I'm about to try to get her a little car, a little runner. Cause I know she at that point where that's what she wants. But so that's my piece on that.
You doing what, you know what I'm saying, the average black father does, man. Everything in their power to make sure that their child's life is better than theirs. And that's where, you know, we got to make sure that the onus is on that, and that we know that this system is rigged against you. Fight from that standpoint only. You know what I mean? Don't fight from another one. With that being said, right, if anybody got anything they want to add on before we leave out, like I said, you know, my suggestion is that we have to definitely take this from a war standpoint. We have to be astute in the history of child protective services and astute in just the history of the Caucasian keeping you enslaved in the mannerisms in order for us not to fight against the black woman like she's the ultimate enemy, even though she's playing an part in it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking to the black men. You know, don't look at it in that mannerism. Like she's your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's doing things that might definitely considered evil, downright vindictive and spiteful. You know what I mean?
doubt.
This is a program that she has in her head that tells her that the black man ain't worth shit, never gonna be worth shit. He evil, he do this type of shit. Somebody probably touched her. She'll tell the man, you know what I mean? That's what happened. You know? And so these things go on. So, look, be wary of that. Be strong in your fight. Get your papers up if you go into court. And like the brother Griff said, man, strive to deal with the woman amicably. Strive to keep some type of open line of communication with the mother or father of your child, because this is best for the child. It's no longer is word can you be so much invested into what's best for me, what I like the most. With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. See y'all out there. You know, to the family who was quiet on the line, we still love y'all out there. Anything you make sure that y'all go to our archives, check our archives out. We always got to start moving and grooving. We got Slaughterhouse Saturday coming up this Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. 7 on the west side, the best side. 7 on the west side, the best side, excuse me. Y'all line up in between. We'll have news and more news next Tuesday. Last Tuesday we was out. You know, it was the Queen born day, so, you know, I try to go to the movies, but that shit didn't end up right. But, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, though, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to close out like we come in with a praise and eternal glory to Garvey, long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, praise Harriet Tubman, glory to Ida B. Wells, and long live the spirit of Sister Fannie Lou Hamer. A baby for Hodier.
Cracking the trunk.